I came home early to surprise my wife, but I was surprised to see her coworker there.
Maybe it was a work meeting?
Oh, they were working all right. They were grinding real hard. Recently, I learned the term monkey branching, and I can't tell if what happened last night is my spouse doing some form of this. My past drama is certainly clouding my judgment, so I need some help. By the way, this comes from...
Wait, sorry, read that.
Pretty what?
I just have a question after you read that.
By the way, this comes from Make My Week Better, and if you want to send in your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit, resume pause.
What is monkey branching?
Riley, what is monkey branching?
Monkey branching is a form of...
It's a form.
It's a form.
The form.
Monkey branching is this like really cool thing.
Yeah, so
where
cool.
It refers to a dating behavior where someone actively seeks out and pursues potential new partners while still in a current relationship.
Swing into the next thing.
Yeah, sort of like if someone has a roster. Like, if like they're like seeing someone, but they're like, oh, I could also see someone else.
I don't think that's true.
Dude, I'm feeling a little bit of some calling out energy, some shrapnel.
And if it were true, it wouldn't apply to me anymore.
Yeah, Riley. Come on. Now some background. Partner, 32 female, and I, 36 male, have been together for just over 8 years. Married with 1 child, mostly a very love-filled relationship. We had our disagreements, but they always ended in some form of care and compassion and compromise or resolution. We love to see it. Both independent, educated, swap between working and being a stay-at-home parent. We both have full-time careers in the medical field and each our own side business that we run from home. I have no reason to distrust her. Where's the problem?
There's no problem. They're just monkeys enjoying the jungle right now.
I can't see it.
But I fear there may be a tiger lying in wait to eat these monkeys.
Jaguars.
Eat them out.
Or yeah, maybe a jaguar.
I can't do it as well as Sam. Because it's really loud, like a real tiger.
I feel like I just sound like a small tiger.
Yeah.
A cat.
Meow. Recent past, during pregnancy and after our first child, we had some major disagreements and had an enormous loss of trust and communication between us. She was later diagnosed with postpartum depression and, do you know PPA? Postpartum. We know postpartum depression.
Anxiety.
Anxiety.
I'm just guessing.
That sounds accurate. Is that right, Riley? Are we on the money? Or are we?
I think it's close.
Let us know.
Oh, no, I got it now.
Yep. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest producer.
Sorry.
You're good.
PPD stands for postpartum depression, and PPA stands for postpartum anxiety, and PPP means I have to pee right now.
So I was on the money.
Ooh, 3 true facts. And she started medication after that. And we both started marriage counseling recently. We both have feelings of being hurt, disrespected, unheard, and unloved by the other. Both are 100% valid. We hurt each other. I have doubts that she loves me in the same deep way she used to, but I'm willing to trust her when she tells me. I voice this to her often recently. So we got some communication going on. Everything seemed to be moving forward until I came home last night. Hopefully she did not do the same.
Oh.
I should back up.
Hopefully she didn't do the same.
Oh, God. She went on a day-long hike yesterday with some friends to go foraging.
Nice.
You know what happens is foraging.
Okay, what?
Knives, whenever they forge swords and knives, they have to beat it with a hammer.
That's forging, not foraging.
They're looking for like berries.
Yeah, foraging is like foraging for berries and nuts. Foraging. You're thinking take out the A and then you're foraging.
Foraging.
Yeah, that hurts my brain.
And then foraging.
What? How could they do that to a word?
Guys, let's all submit to Merriam-Webster to get that word changed for Riley, because I agree. I agree.
And that's a crime.
Everyone send them a letter.
Riley is working so hard. And you do this?
He literally became a dyslexic man is the producer of a reading show. Come on. What more can he do?
He's breaking the glass ceiling.
Just give him that, okay?
And you're putting another one above him?
God.
I'm sorry.
And he has to forage his way out. Golly.
Yeah.
So one of these people was a coworker, 21-ish male. Young kid, again, they're like 32 and 36. Young kid works on the floor with her as a nurse. It's overnight shifts. So they have a lot of time to hang around the nursing station. I know they talk. I know they talk on Messenger. I have no problems with my wife having friends of any flavor. He had come over a couple of times.
What does that mean? Any flavor.
Any flavor.
Okay.
He had come over a couple times before the hikes and seemed pretty shy and nervous around me, but he's a kid. He seems super cool. A few weeks ago, my wife had to wait for the pharmacy to open up to pick up her pills. She ran out. So in order to wait, they went up hiking a mountain together after work. But when she got home, she had forgotten to actually go get her pills and had to make the 2-hour round trip drive to get them the next day. Something didn't feel right.
Something's afoot.
Something is afoot.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't take you 2 hours to go there and back. What were you doing?
Foraging.
Taking the long way home.
Stopping to smell the flowers.
Oh, him stopping to smell you. I'm going to stop that. Anyways, back to yesterday and her hike with the friends and going out foraging. He, the kid, came by in the morning so that way they could carpool. My lovely wife gave him a couple of books on foraging, etc. What is foraging maniacs over here? As gifts when he arrived. It seemed a little bit awkward receiving them. They took off, brought our child to the babysitter and went foraging, and he left his car at our place. When I got home from work, I decided I want a little time to myself for the first time in 2 years. I threw a sleeping bag and pad in my backpack and went out cowboy camping on top of my favorite local peak. I texted my wife that I wouldn't be home for tonight and that I'd see her in the morning. Wow, that's kind of random. You're just like, hey babe, I'm just going to the wilderness tonight.
Like, hey babe, I know you're out foraging. I'm gonna be out communing with nature.
These people really like nature.
It's kind of sad knowing the title because it feels like they're made for each other.
It does though.
Yeah,
it does. She loves foraging. He just needs a night with. Oh, and they had the perfect setup, Sophia.
Yeah.
Gosh.
She just had to go and ruin it.
Honestly, the hike and peak was awesome. Read my book, smoked a J with some kids having a fire on the other lookout, and it was really fun. I felt great. Then my sleeping pad deflated. I didn't bring a effing patch kit, so that sucks, but it's only 9 p.m. I'll just come down, scoot on home, and go see my wife. We had just missed being intimate the last week. Lots of hugging and touching and lead up, but timing just didn't work out. And so instead of texting her, I thought I'd surprise her.
Oh, we missed the moon.
It's
Oh, we
like,
missed wait.
yeah, the golden hour. We had to wait. We missed the window.
It's when the babbling brook tries to water down, but then the salmon create a blockade.
Yeah, she didn't forage enough nuts that we.
She didn't collect enough nuts.
I was gonna say like haven't found the berries yet or something, but wow. Sophia Donner, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what you forage for, nuts and berries.
That is, God, what
You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
No, I'm telling you, you are right.
No, you are all left.
So she had texted me earlier around 7 p.m. That she was back home and that by 8 p.m. our kid was down sleeping and she was back up with all her mushrooms and ramps and stuff. Who are these people?
Who are you?
Oh man, sent pictures. It looks like an awesome day.
I know who they are. I know exactly who they are.
Like the literal people, like a story written before.
I know what type of people they are.
You know what type of people?
Swingers?
Trolls.
Oh.
Little fairy woodland creatures. Foraging, mushrooms, always hiking. Come on. Come on.
You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong?
Like trolls in a fairy tale.
Exactly. This might be.
Mask, I love that for you.
Shout out to Mask. What did Mask say?
That they're reading the book that I'm reading.
Oh, let's go.
But dude, am I wrong?
Sophia out here giving free sponsors.
Always.
No, I think you're right. They're like, yeah, they're definitely some like fairy tale forest creatures. Over
And
here.
everyone knows that fairies are non-monogamous, so
Honestly, not surprised.
everyone knows that.
Not to profile, but sorry for all you fairies out there. But
That's like common fairy culture.
Yeah, are they Smurfs?
dude, I do not want to know what they
Smurfette?
do. They're blue all over the place. Anyways,
Smurfs are asexual.
actually,
I'm pretty sure. There was a whole thing about it.
asexual kings and queens. Let's freaking go.
John, we're going to get back to the story,
Yeah.
but you're Oh.
You're as old as me now, pal.
I might be as old as you, but I feel like you have oodles more wisdom.
I've got some wisdom in this old noggin.
You got a piece of wisdom for me right now?
Always respect your
And I think the other piece of wisdom that I've learned from John is join OK Storytime memberships.
Yeah, that's freaking right. We have 60 plus hours of exclusive live streams on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
It's only $5 a month, so go to the link in our description, youtube.com/OKOP show/join.
Get it now while I'm still alive.
Now back to the story.
So when I pulled in the driveway around 9:45 p.m., the kid's car was still parked in the driveway. A bit odd that he stayed over around for the hour it took while my wife put our kid to bed, and a couple hours more after that. So I came inside, and it really didn't seem like anything was off. He was still awkward, and my wife was a bit talkative, but she had had a great day and wanted to talk about it, and I like to hear about it. They had a microscope out on the table with specimens around.
Oh.
What kind? Nothing suspicious at all, honestly, but I felt something deep in me. Oh, this is a long story. I just realized that. So I was sweaty and gross, so I excused myself and took a shower. Here, I have probably to relay some trauma. My only other serious adult relationship ended in betrayal when my partner, 25 female, fell for a much younger man, 19 male, a coworker who she told me I had nothing to worry about.
Come on. She fell for a 19-year-old man? Come on. That's a child.
And like, we don't know OP's age there, but he was probably around the same age. Like,
yeah. That's embarrassing for her.
Like, dude, imagining if I'm a woman imagining dating a 19-year-old guy.
A 19-year-old man.
Dude, no.
I don't even want to date a 22-year-old man. I can barely date a 23-year-old man.
Yeah, I see it.
None of them want relationships.
It's true. They're too busy forging for nuts. Okay? But we're not giving those out over here. Okay? So, that's right, Riley. That's right. That's right, okay? I was not expecting that. She told me that he had feelings for her, but it wasn't mutual. He wasn't her type. She preferred men like me, tall, less flighty, and more masculine. I trusted her.
Dang.
In a horrifying series of events, I would learn from a friend that my past partner and the previous kid were seen together, and she had spent the night at his place. I was out of town at the time. Between the time...
What? First agreement. Okay.
Between the time I learned of them together and the day before I was able to come home, she had, oh my God, she had passed away in a car accident. Oh my God.
The ex?
The ex, the ex that cheated.
Oh my God, that's traumatic.
Oh my God. I came home expecting to seek answers for things that I had heard, only to find out that she was gone forever. It effed me up for years, probably permanently, which is why I am coming to Reddit strangers for advice. I don't think I can be a good judge of my current situation because of my past. It hits me too hard from a place I can't understand. With all the similarities, it is just a lot. So needless to say, coming out of the shower, I had a lot of feelings, but I kept composed. I absolutely do not want to discourage my wife from having friends or enjoying hobbies with those friends, and I trust her. When I came out to the kitchen to eat with them and chat, his car was pulling out of the driveway. I guess he had to get his mom's car back by 3 a.m. Boom, psh. Freaking kid.
How old is this guy?
21.
And they're how old?
Wife is 32. Husband is 36. OP is 36.
Dang. So he's like experiencing this trauma again of the wife going for the younger man.
Yeah.
Eee.
And low key, dude, 32 and 21 is like, that's even, it's obviously bigger, but it just like feels even crazy.
But also just like, yeah, an interesting friendship vibe, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I guess like if you're stuck on the night shift at the hospital.
Yeah, you got to make friends with whoever.
It's mandatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, your buds.
Watch OK Storytime.
And not make friends.
Yeah.
It is a statistic that nurses are the profession that cheats the most.
Is that true, or is that just a Riley statistic?
No, it's a true statistic.
Riley has looked this up multiple times on this show.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen, we don't know. Let's get the source. Let's get a source. Yeah, read us a sourced one right now, real quick.
You want a effing chart?
Tony Spiliaco says, is OP one of those insecure guys who's been wronged by a previous partner and subconsciously tests the loyalty of subsequent paramours? That's the feeling I'm having right now. Yeah, possibly.
Possibly, but it seems like he's hesitant to do
Boom.
anything by feeling control.
Read it and weep. Medical field. Women.
Dillinger Investigations.
I do not trust that website, man.
You don't trust? Fine. I'll find another one.
Riley's gonna get it.
I'm not against people getting their nut off. I'm just speaking facts.
As long as it's like not cheating or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Important distinction. Forage smartly.
Mm-hmm.
Big brain.
Forage ethically.
Forage ethically. Thank you,
Yes.
Sophia.
Thank you.
That's what my wife said, which I found a weird thing to say. He could leave by 2 a.m. then. That's not a reason for leaving right now, but whatever. I'm going insane inside and maybe can't understand why that was said. Wife and I chatted. I think she could tell something was off, so she offered a massage, but honestly, I really didn't feel like being touched. I think I was having a bit of anxiety. She asked me what's wrong. I told her I think that some of my past is effing with me. She asked if it was because he was over so late after our kid was asleep. I said yes. I asked if she had feelings for him. She said no.
Well, there you have it.
Right?
Case closed.
I asked if he had feelings for her. She said, I don't know. I don't know. Because remember what happened in the last scenario. She
said, I don't have feelings for him, but he has feelings for me.
It's getting...
I think that if you think that someone has feelings for you and you're like in close quarters with them and you have a relationship, you gotta shut that down. Make it
lay
real
down
clear.
the law.
Yeah, real clear.
Just be like, yo, I'm glad we don't have to go insane on this night shift, but
Yeah.
I
think you're catching vibes for me, and I just want to put a wall up real
One,
quick.
cells. They know how to talk and lie and get what they want. 2, teachers.
Really?
3, healthcare.
Well, there you go. It's not the topmost, but it's up there.
it's up there, ladies and gentlemen.
Least likely to cheat. Nerds.
And, well, I mean, we have a reputable source, Yahoo
Finance. Hey, man.
Yahoo Finance.
I passed my driver's license or my driver's permit test through Yahoo Answers.
You didn't just take like they give you like a free test that has all the answers on it. Like the DMV gives you a free practice test.
I don't know if they do that in Florida.
Okay, well they give
I'm sure they give a
yeah, they
practice
give you a
test.
practice test and it has like all of the answers on it.
Yep.
Well, I said Yahoo Answers has all the answers, so why would I stress myself
Well,
out?
there you go.
Right here, men, blue-collar men, and women in the medical field. Nothing against people in the women in the medical field or blue-collar men. Just putting that out there.
Just you better watch out.
Riley's just relaying the facts as he sees them.
Riley's
I
just
am
the
the
messenger.
Thank you.
Opie continues. I pressed her on it because, in my opinion, my wife has a eternally frustrating habit of trickle-truthing when she knows it's something I don't want to hear. And then she said in a long string, he's just a dumb young kid. He doesn't know what he's doing. I don't even think he likes mushrooms. I just think he likes being around me. But I don't find him attractive at all. Like, at all. He's not my type. You're my type. OP. I love you. And only you.
Sounding scarily close to his other experience.
Eerily similar.
I think I would be, if I were in OP situation, I'd be like, okay, well then you need to like set him straight. You need to go and tell him like, hey, we have to put up boundaries.
Yep. I should say I did really feel like she was being honest, but she did know the kid had feelings for her. But she's right. He's young and dumb and probably doesn't understand what he's attempting to do, but he is attempting it, and she knew it. I then realized that I had my sleeping pad not blown and I had come home. It's possible I could have never known what had happened or if he was there or how long or anything. Again, he only came home because his sleeping pad deflated. That sent me spiraling inside a little bit. After more discussion, to her defense, she said things like, I was uncomfortable too having him over that late, though I'm not sure what to think.
What? Just send him home.
Yeah.
It's your house.
Yeah, just be like,
Oh, I'm getting really tired.
yeah, I'm getting really tired. Or like, oh, I'm gonna have some alone time with the baby now.
Yeah, or like, yeah, I gotta make sure the kid's okay.
No is a complete sentence. It's true. Again, I don't want to stop my wife from having friends or ruining her relationships with coworkers. And my past might be playing a nefarious role in my gut, shooting up the effing bat signal, screaming at me that my relationship is damaged beyond repair and my wife is entertaining other men, seriously or unseriously, as a response to that. Am I right to be distraught over him being so late, the only night I've ever been gone, when she kind of sort of knew he had feelings for her? I'm feeling pretty effed up today because but can't tell if it's from today or just reliving the past back then. Relevant comment.
Excellent.
But we need to talk.
Let's talk.
What are you thinking right now? He's basically asking, am I crazy? Am I just is this just because of my past situation? Should I say anything? What do you think he should do in this?
I don't know if she's necessarily cheated at this point.
Yep.
But I do think that she has been disrespectful, perhaps, to their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that OP could just say, like, hey, I'm not accusing you of anything.
Yes.
But I think that I would be more comfortable if you do not have a person that you know has feelings over late at night, especially with her kid at home while I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, second thing, I would also like you to tell him that, like, you know, hey, we have to have like a professional relationship.
A boundary. Yeah. Like, hey, you know, it's great that we can chat. We're on the late shift. It's all great. But like, you know, I have a husband and I just don't want to give you any ideas anything will happen here and vice versa. So just like we are, you know, we work together. We're like office friends, you know, but that's kind of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think too, I feel like if he expresses it in a way of like, to be quite honest, I feel like if he just almost vocalizes what he's thinking through in his head, which is like, I don't want to be controlling. I don't want you to feel like you have to, you know, get my permission to do things or change or me have you feel like you have to change your life in any way. But given this like very traumatic experience in my past, it's kind of causing me a lot of anxiety and I'm just kind of feeling overwhelmed and like don't know what to think.
Yeah. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Hey, this is just what I'm feeling, and I'm unsure of what to do here because I don't want to be controlling in your life." If a wife is a sane, rational, loving person, I feel like she'll totally understand that.
I agree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got some other relevant comments.
I have a relevant comment.
Please.
I'm trying to find. I was trying for the past 5 minutes finding the guy's name, the pilot's name. There was a pilot that got hijacked 3 separate times. This could just be happening to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Where like every relationship he gets into, some younger fella takes his gal away.
Oh my God.
I agree.
That would be insane and awful.
Sorry, I don't agree. I wasn't paying attention because I was telling Keon that he has to do another episode.
Oh yes, yeah.
So I have no idea what you just said.
that he's gonna
I don't know what I agreed
the
to.
girlfriend cheat and pass away 3 times.
Whoa, I don't agree with that. Damn, whoa.
I mean, it's following a pattern here.
Oh man. Also, really quick, Tonis Pilikis, I think,
Tony
up in the chat. Oh yes,
Spiliakos.
Thank you. His running off with no prior heads up was prior notices concerning. I also kind of felt that a little bit. It's just like, hey, I'm just like not going to sleep at the house. Maybe that's their vibe. She didn't seem to have a problem with it.
It depends on what their vibe is because it seems like they're pretty outdoorsy. So it might just be like, hey, going camping.
Maybe they've done that before.
Yeah.
If that's their vibe, great. Which it low-key seems like she didn't have a problem with it. So
yeah,
maybe. But I digress. We have some relevant comments as well from the story. So, commenter number 1 says she needs to cut this kid off completely. Few people intend to start affairs. They happen when someone outside the relationship starts paying them attention and they don't stop it immediately. Oh, he's just a friend. He's nothing to worry about. He's not even my type. All of those things have been said. She may not be having an affair, or at least she doesn't realize it. The medical profession, for some reason, is rife with infidelity.
Whoa, that's what Riley said.
That's what Riley said. Perhaps more than any other.
Whoa, that's also what Riley said.
Oh, here we go. And they've brought receipts. This is a study from 2021. A descriptive study was carried out studying the association of certain variables. In total, 367 volunteer participants completed an online survey. Of them, 21% either have or had an unfaithful relationship. Most of those were doctors, 81%, and men were most likely to cheat. It showed, make sure that she's not in the 2 out of the 10. I'm not sure what the commenter means by that.
Like saying, so there's 20%. So it's 80% of men are like of the field. So that leaves 20%. So 2 out of 10.
Right.
Math.
I can't do it. OP replied, yeah, another commenter talked about setting boundaries. What you got, Riley?
Lou Bates, 42 male, got hijacked 3 times, survived a plane crash. Thank you.
That was he was a pilot or
He was a pilot. He was a freaking pilot.
Wow. I mean, I guess that makes sense because you'll be on planes the most.
Yep. Prior to the crash, Lou had experienced 2 previous hijacks.
Dang.
Dude, I'm just saying, if this could happen to a pilot, this can definitely happen to a guy in a relationship.
Oh, dude, please no.
I'm not saying the death part, but I'm just saying getting swept away by a younger guy.
Okay, so
Lightning strikes. Except
okay, that was a good clarification.
That's what I meant by that.
I see. I also love how this guy is like your personal hero.
Yeah.
He's like survived 3 plane
It was
hijackings.
bothering me so much. I had to find his name.
Well, OP replies to this comment. Yeah, another commenter talked about setting boundaries. I think I'll ask her what boundaries she thinks are appropriate, smart, and kind of get a feeling of her headspace based on what she says. The problem is not that my wife is conventionally extremely attractive. Whoa. I know how the medical field is. We all witness a bunch of horrible crap and beautiful and crap and difficult crap all together, and trauma bonding happens. She has no shortage of male attention. I'm sure it's the same at work, but has never given me any indication ever, honestly, that she was searching elsewhere until this guy.
Ooh.
Crap. Yeah, okay. You might have a really good point. Hope he's like, oh, wait a second. Commenter number 2 says, whatever's going on, your wife is not doing a very good job of alleviating any doubt. I think even without your trauma, you'd be maybe not distraught, but certainly suspicious and skeptical. The trauma is just making you feel this more intensely, I believe. You may need to ask/demand your wife stop seeing this kid outside of work. I know you've been hesitant to create boundaries on her friendships, but this is growing beyond the pale. If she respects you and the marriage, she'll understand your point of view and limit contact outside of work. If she fights you on this, you should ask her why this friendship is more important than causing your husband to be distressed. That I think is a good.
I don't think you should go in with the demand, but I think absolutely bring it up.
Yeah, absolutely bring it. And again, yeah, it's like, hey, this is, even if she doesn't fully grasp it, I think in every relationship there's a thing where one person will not feel or see the gravity of the thing the other feels.
Sure.
In this case, it's like, oh, I'm just friends with the kid. It's like no big deal. But it's like, okay, especially given OP's traumatic history, it's like, you know what? Is my helping my husband relieve his anxiety and everything in this scenario worth it?
Yeah.
The answer is not always yes by any means, but specifically in this context, it just might be. It just might be. Don't let her keep apologizing to you after the fact. Someone who respects you won't keep putting themselves in a position to need to apologize. Commenter number 3 says, at best, she's using the dude to stroke her ego. At worst, she's cheating.
Worse, she's using the dude to stroke.
Period. Either way, the way she's behaving is not okay. And we have an update.
See, someone says the TLDR says wife is money branching. I believe it's supposed to say monkey branching.
Hey, fair enough.
She's certainly not money branching if she's, talking to a 21-year-old.
That's true. There we go. I was about to say Riley. Now it says monkey branching. We're inventing all the terms today.
Forging.
Do we have any predictions? Any conspiracy theories?
I predict
Yep.
that something has already possibly happened. I think whether that be like he tried to make a move and she was like, no, I've got a husband, but she doesn't want to tell OP. And so she's like, oh no, like nothing happened.
Yeah. That's because like it's even way more plausible that he just made a move. Could have been very subtle, could have been less subtle, and that she turned it down. But she's like, okay, well, A, if I tell my husband, it's like I didn't tell him first.
Yeah.
B, he sees me still trying to be friends with him. So it's like that, it makes her look horrible,
yeah.
But it's like, you got to tell the truth.
You got to tell the truth.
You can't live a lie.
Ain't that the truth?
I think just the way that, we've seen, actually it would be fun to get statistics on our own stories on like
on how right we are. Well,
that would be fun too. That would be fun too.
Like how many people this happens to.
How these scenarios play out, like in just all the stories where cheating is accused of, how many of those were actually cheating, which is kind of slanted because most of the banger ones are the ones that the crazy ones are making on the show. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take it just a step further and say that there was some full-blown two-way cheating.
Okay.
Yep.
I guess we'll find out.
I'm putting
Who's
it
right?
on the board. But before you get bored, I'm getting into this next update. So, for the days after, we talked a lot. She was adamant that she wanted nothing to do with him, okay? Has no feelings other than their friendship. And now that she was aware of both A, the possibility of him trying, it is true, I or she still don't know his intentions, and B, my reaction to her behavior, leaving out his presence later with her with her in text messages to me after carpooling / putting the kid to bed, trickle-truthing me on her view of his possible intentions, etc., etc. She said that she doesn't want anything to do with him. No, just no. She's ready to shut it down.
Shutting it down. Okay.
Shutting it down. Okay. That we think is that innocent behavior?
Shutting it down?
I guess it could be both.
I feel like it could be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I meant innocent behavior in that, like, is that what she would do if she didn't cheat with him? Or I feel like it kind of plays both.
I think it could. It doesn't tell us yet.
She offered her phone up if I wanted to see their conversations, and she did a location sharing thing on her phone. It was pretty clear that this was all some BS, and she hated that the situation ever became a thing. She was losing a friend, but was more than willing to.
Okay.
Even further, I'm smelling innocence.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving a sniff of innocence. We set some boundaries. People over late at the house, just let the other person know. Obviously, family doesn't count. Just to avoid any possibility of any interference, better to let each other know who is in our house that late, one-on-one. For people who may feel that we have hints of intentions beyond platonic, we should overshare with each other. Thanks, helpful commenter. Not overanalyze every relationship, but just things like, hey, Doc X said this weird thing today. Also, Doc X sounds like a villain in a comic.
Yeah.
That's fun. Or new guy at foraging seemed to like me a lot. He was looking for those nuts. Stuff like that. Don't we all know that? I don't want to be a controlling person. I'm not that person, but maybe because of my history, I require more openness and communication about things like that in a relationship, which I just got to applaud OP real quick. I think is a great and self-aware thing.
And he's communicating that that's what he needs.
Boom.
Excellent work.
That's it.
10 out of 10.
That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. She told me I was being too worried about her feelings / me being controlling, and that she was more than willing to do anything it took to rebuild any trust that was broken from the situation. The second session of marriage counseling, and obviously the topic came up first. I started to give a brief history, but got interrupted by her child upstairs. I gave them some attention and came back down to continue. When I got to the part of coming home, taking the shower, and then confronting my wife, I can't remember who said what, but it was interrupted. Talking happened, and then the therapist said, it sounds like wife recognized what happened and your past. Wife said that she didn't know how a close / similar some of the details were, and the conversation moved on from there. The omission of his presence in text messages, trickle-truthing, none of that was brought up. But things were looking up.
Okay.
I'm not sure I like the therapist, but whatever. Things seemed to be good. She seemed fairly contrite, though I really was still bothered by the red and orange flags planted in my little mind garden. Fast forward a week, something like that. I effed up.
Oh, no.
I guess I'm glad I did, but I did F up.
Oh, no. What does that mean?
There's only one way to find that out.
Uh-oh. I feel like he snooped on her phone or something.
Ooh.
And now I feel like she cheated.
That's a great conspiracy theory. That's a great conspiracy theory. Hannah says, so communicate? And yeah, there's ways to hide stuff beyond texting. Maybe I'm being cynical. Right. So basically
maybe
saying,
rightfully so.
Yeah. Maybe she was using some other app, but she was like, hey, here's my location. Here's my text. But it's like, nah, you don't know about my little secret box over here. I don't sleep much, maybe 5 hours max. I was up early, garden tending. Again, these people love nature. And made some breakfast for the little one and coffee for her, as usual. I saw her, the wife, not the baby. I saw her work bag on the floor, and I saw her journal in there. And well, boyo, don't you know, I effed up and read it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Class. Oh, man. And this is the point of no return. This is if you're not right, then your relationship is going to be messed up. And if you are right, then your relationship is already messed up.
Because you broke the trust, my friend. I wanted to know if the 21-year-old male, was in her journal. For some context, I read the journals of my late partner who fell into eternal sleep over a decade ago, and it was a stupid, horrible mistake.
Do you just like date people who journal?
Yeah, this dude really has a habit of just ending up in scenarios that just completely
Very
repeat
similar.
themselves. Kind of crazy. I read things that I shouldn't have. Very raw thoughts, feelings, and a pros and cons list of me and crap like that. That would have been insane.
That is
insane.
really, really tough to read, but also these were supposed to be her private thoughts. Like these
Exactly.
aren't things that she's necessarily like. She's probably, hopefully, not texting them to her friends or anything. But like a journal is like
It's a private space. Like any space that a person deems private should not be interrupted. Journal, text, like anything. And if you're not sure,
yeah.
then don't do it.
Yeah, like a journal is a place for you. Like it should not have to be filtered because you're worried about other people reading it.
Exactamundo. And this was the journal with the pros and cons list of the passed away ex.
Oh, I thought it was the current one. Oh,
He read both.
Yikes.
He's done it twice. History's repeating itself, unfortunately.
It's a little pattern.
It's a little patterned. Then entries about the other man and her falling in love with him. And her thoughts. Oh wait, let me make sure it's still the same. Okay, so I think it's still the ex's journal.
Yeah.
Of the deceased ex. Then entries about the other man and her falling in love with him, and her thoughts about her conflicted thoughts about leaving me. Near the end, if I recall, she didn't know. She loved us both, but we were so different. I kept the journals. I still have them somewhere, but I didn't burn those last pages about him.
Did burn.
But I did burn those last pages about him.
Wow.
I do recall. This is kind of insane. I do recall telling myself that I was protecting future me. I'm glad I burned those pages, but I'm also glad I kept her journals, but didn't venture to read them anymore. I will again when I'm older to keep her alive in me somehow, I guess.
What?
I was not in this scenario. I don't know how healthy that is.
I don't think it is healthy. What do you mean keep her alive in you?
In a way, it seems like if he kept this side of her, then they were never married. But if he destroys the documentation of her cheating, then she can still be like, I don't know, a partner to him. Does that make sense?
Because they were never even married, I don't think.
Because weren't they together? And then he found out she was cheating, and then she went out, like she got in a car accident right after that, and then he couldn't like confrontate it.
Yes.
So to him, it's like it never even happened. So he's trying to like blur it out because everything was fine and dandy until that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we know that she cheated. I don't know why you would want to remember that.
Yeah,
and also it's like her personal journal where she's like saying bad stuff about him.
Yeah, if anything, give it to her parents.
Yeah. Why would you want to keep that?
Yeah, that's
so strange.
That's the weirdest thing I've seen OP do so far. If you think we're just totally crazy and off base, go write your paragraphs.
Yeah. Persegribus is to remember a Bible. Like, why would you want to remember?
I don't get it either. When I saw her journals in the bags, I just grabbed them and read the last couple of pages. Innocuous stuff until I got about to a month ago. It said, texted all night and hike Monday. Now, that wasn't me she texted with or hiked on that day. That was him when she forgot to get her prescription. So that meant two things to me. Who writes texted all night in their journal with someone they don't have feelings about? I'm not a journaler person. Well, you seem to love them.
Seem to be an avid reader of them.
Yeah. I don't like my thoughts enough to put them on paper, but that doesn't seem right to me. No name, but definitely him. The dates match. I don't know again. I don't journal, so maybe anything can mean anything in there, but what the actual F? Another point, she had planned on hiking with him. She didn't tell me that. She told me of her plans to go hiking after work to pass the time before the pharmacy opens, but never told me that he was going too. In fairness, she told me afterwards she sent pictures of the hike to me, and his dog was in the photos, but she didn't mention that they had planned it together. It just seemed spontaneous. Low key, kind of like how OP was like, I'm going to go camping for the night.
Yeah.
To be honest. So take that as you will. I never asked, I guess. So yeah, I stopped reading. Kind of felt like I was shot with an arrow. Pretty horrible feeling because I thought things were going to be okay. But now I read this crap.
I'm going to be honest. That is not enough proof. I don't know if that's just me. That feels like not enough proof.
Yeah, I think once again, like anything, not that this justifies it necessarily, but any little indicator seems to just like trigger the trauma for him and make him think that.
Which I think that the girlfriend has, or wait, wife, yeah. I think
Wife,
the wife has done, she has been disrespectful, but I think that OP is, yeah, as you said, like multiplying this disrespect by 10 in his mind and like making every little thing seem just a lot worse.
And like, in fairness, like, I mean, she shared the location. She ended the friendship with him, allegedly. She showed all the texts. Like, again, there could be a way where she's like dumping evidence on him to not make him look in like whatever messaging app she's texting him in. But I don't know. It's a tough one. It was like 6 a.m. at this point. So I went on a run to clear my head and that got the adrenaline going. Some tears too. Oh, got home and they were still sleeping. When they woke up and we were alone, I asked her again if she's tired, because I am, and if she ever developed any feelings at all for him. She said no. I told her I read her journal. I apologized, but I told her I read something and I needed an explanation. She wasn't happy. She told me that those are personal, her thoughts, and not for other people. She was also confused as to what I could have possibly read about him / the situation that needed explaining. She asked me to show her the entry, so I did. Context, they work overnight together. Her response was, oh yeah, we texted a lot that night. He wasn't working, but I was. You know, I wasn't home, right? I was working that night. That does add more context, but
the thing is, I think it could be read either way. And I think OP is only reading it as like, you know, sneaky.
Yeah, because like if they are used to, you know, talking and like, you know, passing the time at the overnight shift together, is it that far of a reach to where when one of them has a night shift when the other isn't there, it's almost like, hey, you know, I'll text you sometimes when you're doing the overnight and then vice versa. So that way, you know, it kind of evens out. They're giving each other the thing to pass the time with.
Yeah.
You know, I
think it could lean either way.
It could lean. Janelle Janik says, hiking with another man and not telling your partner is shady AF. I wouldn't trust her. Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, and it seems like they have this like very liberal anything that is around nature.
Yeah,
they're just kind of like, it's just fair game. Just go hike with people, go spend the night spontaneously.
This was planned before they had the conversation, so potentially she might have still been that kind of little bit disrespectful, not really thinking about his feelings, not considering you know what he needed. Or it could be something else. It's
true. I asked, why is it in your journal and why were you planning to hike with him? But when you told me about your plans for that day, you never mentioned you were planning it with him. She said, well, I don't know for sure. I didn't know for sure if he would come. We were talking about it, but I didn't know for sure. As for the texted all night part, she said it didn't mean anything, explaining that journals are fragments, not full thoughts. And she was just writing it. Not as great an answer, but we'll keep going.
Yeah.
I didn't like those answers at all, honestly. We had another long discussion where she reassured me it meant nothing and that it shouldn't be interpreted as anything about her having feelings for him. And I believe her. Obi believes her.
Man still needs like individual therapy if he isn't already doing it.
That's a good question. I don't know if they've explicitly mentioned if they're doing individual therapy.
It's just like, even, you know, either she is cheating on him.
Yep.
Or she's not cheating on him and he's betraying her trust. In asking for her to be more like upfront and, you know, respect boundaries, he's not respecting her boundaries. And so like, you can't really ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do or aren't doing.
And I think you got to call yourself out and acknowledge that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here I was trying to set up a boundary and I crossed one of yours. You know,
exactly.
She clearly was not okay with it, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Like, you need to very much, if you want to move forward, and again, we don't know yet, like maybe she is cheating, maybe we find that out, but in the scenario that she's not, you have crossed a boundary that you asked her to, you know, respect.
Even with the evidence we have, it's definitely not a smoking a pew pew.
Yeah.
We don't have anything. It's like, okay, she is like unequivocally cheating.
Yeah.
We don't have that right yet. I believe her. I don't know how she journals, so maybe this isn't far out of the norm. I don't know. I have to be honest here. The trust that I had in her, a lot of it left.
You don't believe her.
I love how he's like, I believe her, but
I don't trust her.
Kind of the same thing, which is pretty much the basis of a relationship. A lot of people sent me messages after my post with spy scams and such. Oh my God. If I had to resort to that, I just end the relationship, I thought. Now I'm here and snooping on her journals. 2 days later, the kid and I went out camping at the park for a couple of nights. She was working. We had a blast. And during that time away, I decided it's important for me to know what conversations took place between them. Yes, I snooped, but I think it's reasonable at this point to demand to know just what kinds of things are said to them.
This is really frustrating.
Yeah.
OP, break up with her. Stop doing, or I mean, I know you're married, so I guess that's a little bit harder and you have a child.
Yeah.
But like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop doing this.
I think like it was so crazy because in the beginning of the story, it's usually the inverse.
Yeah.
OP was like,
He was like, I don't want to rush to conclusions. I want to communicate.
I want to try to figure this out with her. Like you said, communicate absolutely everything. And now he's like just completely going back on that incredible intention
Yeah.
and just being like, I'm just going to like be like, I need you to.
Also, just like the stupid thinking of him saying, oh, well, she gave me permission before. It's like, no, you have to, like, in terms of consent, it is an ongoing thing that you have to keep asking for. It's not just like yeah, this applies forever.
This is a recurring subscription, pal.
Yeah, you got to keep asking.
You got to enter your payment info because
This is the am I a robot? You got to click that every time you sign in.
boom, CAPTCHA.
Mm-hmm.
Cap that. She had offered earlier to know more and communicate more. I just never took her up on it because it was really obvious to me that she felt that she had nothing to hide. But after this journal entry thing, yeah, I would like to know what texted all night means.
Then ask her, say, hey, I'm still insecure. I would like to see your phone again, if that's okay.
I think that's essentially what he's saying.
Oh, I thought he was just going to sneak the phone.
Oh, actually, you might be right. He might just sneak the phone.
Yeah.
Tyler says he's very insecure.
Incredibly
in
insecure. Yeah. Incredibly so.
You know, we know he has this past situation, but he should do what he was doing in the beginning, which is communicate your feelings, communicate your confusion and the conflict going on within you, and you know, you're not like demanding anything. You're just expressing how you feel, and the conversation kind of goes from there.
Exactly.
Come on now. I thought if the conversation that night was just BS, sure, whatever. If it's more, or if that night is deleted or something, then I'll know. Again, not sure, but I digress. I honestly expected to read those messages, be reassured of her side of the story, and move on. We got home yesterday from camping. Got to get our
gotta get that nature in. Yeah.
This morning I asked her if I could read it if I could read their conversations.
Okay. At least you asked.
At least he asked. I explained why, and without hesitation, she said yes and went to get her phone. She gave it to me, and I started reading. They had been texting recently, mostly innocuous mushroom stuff, then a couple of attempts for him to come over or go out for foraging. I guess he was going to be around our area. He lives an hour away, cruising on his motorcycle, and Riley doesn't like that.
No, just the hour away? He's an hour away saying, hey, when can I come over? Like, yeah, my girl's an hour away, and we plan that, but like, it's because we're in a relationship, not like that we're, I don't know, that's just crazy to me.
Get a girl in your own zip code.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, and your own age, and everything
And
else.
not in a relationship.
Yeah, not married with a kid. So she didn't let him in. She saw my face and asked what was wrong. I put the phone down and I said, I don't want to read anymore. I asked if she had told him about my view on their relationship or what had happened or anything about him/her/I. She said no. I asked again. She said no. She has no clue. She never mentioned any of this to him. I showed her the text and asked her why she would say that. Why would she say no one was allowed at my home? People are allowed in my home. That wasn't one of any of the boundaries that we set up together. So it's like, he was like, hey, can you tell him, like, I'm not comfortable with you being here? And then she's like, oh, no one's allowed at our house.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Changing the truth a little bit.
yeah. He's been there. He's been here clearly. And why would he say that to himself if she's never mentioned anything like that to him before? Her response was that she meant that she wasn't having people over / was busy. She then told me, you were at home that day. I don't get it. Yeah, I didn't read the dates of the text, but even so, why the F would you word it that way? That's not even close to no, I'm busy today, or literally any other million of the ways to say I'm not available today. I'm not allowed to have people at home is entirely different. Lol. it is entirely different. I mean, I don't know that that's necessary. I mean, if you're like, hey, I guess it's weird if you're like, hey, I can't have anyone home right now unless there's like a reason tied to it. But
well, yeah, not allowed is placing direct blame on OP. Because like you can kind of infer like, oh, not allowed. Okay, well, who's not allowing? The person you live with. But yeah, it's a little bit. It is. I will agree. It is weird. It is a weird way to say it. But I honestly think that at this point, they're both like contributing to this kind of very.
I saw a really good comment from Hannah. I'm a bit all over the map here. She's not being honest, and he's spiraling.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree.
yes.
Is this a case of power tripping, Ming Ming?
I think everyone sucks here. I think this is a bad relationship.
Yeah, we've reached the place I think where everyone sucks here. Bethany says wife sucks for having an emotional affair at the very least. OP sucks for how he responds, especially reading her journal.
Agreed. I concur.
Ha ha! Now I cannot see how on earth you get from those words to that meaning she says that she was trying to convey. Maybe I'm wrong. She said she didn't mean it that way. That's not her mother tongue. To be fair, English is not her first language. She's quite fluent and has learned it from childhood, but it's not her primary language. We've spoken exclusively English together for the decade that I've known her. You wouldn't know it if it wasn't her primary language unless you had a good ear. But she's right. Maybe it was just a mistranslation. She said it was clumsy and not meant in any way to convey anything more than I'm not available today. We talked all tomorrow morning when she went to bed. She reassured me that she loves me and only me. I walked through every red flag, every opportunity for her to be open and honest. I asked why she didn't tell me about his recent attempts to meet up again.
All right. She said she didn't know she should have told me. She said she didn't know she had to replay every conversation with him to me. I said she didn't. That's not what I was asking. But I was asking for her to be extra open about her relationship with him, and him asking to come over twice definitely would require her letting me know. I told her she didn't respect me at all. I told her she didn't care enough to tell me. I told her she's not being open and honest with me, that it's not me and her against the world, that this relationship is something else. She reassured me it meant nothing, but now that she sees how that text could be read that way, as if they had discussed him not being allowed in her home, she still denies. She understands why I would react that way. She was frustrated. She said, it feels like a little fly came into my life and crapped all over everything, referring to him and his advances as the cause of what effed this all up.
But you know what you can do to flies, Sophia? Yep. How do you do it? Exactly.
Easy. Psh. Just smack him. Psh. I reiterated to her every step along the way in which she could have been more truthful with me and chose to omit information. And again, I still, I do 100% agree that this wife is being disrespectful and is being either willfully ignorant or just is dumb.
Is ignorant?
Yeah, or is ignorant, which is not necessarily better.
Yeah.
But also, I think he needs to recognize that he is contributing to the downfall of this relationship.
Yes. He needs to go back to what he was thinking first and I don't want my trauma to cause all of this to spiral out, which is, I think, is what is happening.
Agreed. Texting all night and planning the hike. Staying over late after carpooling together after our kid went to sleep. Texting me and not mentioning he was still over. Trickle-truthing me on whether she thinks he's interested in her. His 2 offers to meet via text, messenger, or whatever that I saw didn't look more, that she didn't think to tell me about. And her reply of, not today, not allowed to have anyone at home, LOL, whatever the F that means. Her position is still the same, that this is all bad coincidences and misunderstandings, misreading texts or journal entries, etc. But she says she loves me, has only eyes for me, and better understands now where I'm coming from. So there's my little heck I've got for myself. Personal therapy starting soon, but I guess Reddit therapy will do for now. That's
the best therapy.
It's somehow therapeutic to remember this and type it all out. Sorry, looking back, this is insanely long. It's too long to proofread if crap's garbled. Took me all day to write, I guess. Last post, I felt very overwhelmed by the response. Sorry, I didn't respond to a lot of comments or questions or clarifications. I'll try to do better here since this is probably the final time I'll use Reddit as therapy. Thanks in advance. I guess I should ask, in this field of flags, is there some green grass? I trust my wife. I did. When she tells me she loves me and only me, I'm convinced, or is this all as effed up as the plain reading makes it seem? Because it does seem quite effed. And there are some comments. Should we get into them, or do you have any comments of your own?
Let's dive in.
Comment 1. She's feigning naivety, but not today. Not allowed to have anyone at home. LOL is a text to someone she has either complained to about you before, or she's trying to open the door to do that. Or worse, she's already expressed unhappiness, whether true or not, in your marriage to him, which is the hallmark of an affair. I understand why you would ask not to have people over late at the house for the sake of protecting the children, for example, but this boundary may not be very helpful in this situation since they work together and the guy likely has his own place. And they drive to some places together, LOL. She probably won't leave you for the younger guy, but it seems like she wouldn't mind having some action on the side with him. You really need to make it clear to her what it would cost her if she would carry on like this, so she knows it's not something she can do and still keep her marriage and family together. And OP replies, another commenter said that my focus on the comment was weird and her text seemed okay. My brain can't help but say your reading is the correct one. I mean, it reads exactly like someone who's already said something. I don't want to stop my wife from having friends, but if she volunteered cutting all contact permanently outside of work, it'd go a long way for me, ignoring all the other blaring sirens. But if she doesn't volunteer it honestly, I'd rather just understand that as a sign of the disrespect that seems pretty clear at this point anyway. Thanks for the comment. And comment 2, to me, not allowed sounds like something a child would say sulkily. It really sounds like your wife likes the attention he's giving her and might be lying to you about her true feelings. Also, the fact that she hasn't, because it seems like he still thinks it's okay to like ask her to hang out. So she clearly hasn't set that boundary.
Well, didn't she say that she told him like didn't she? I thought she did.
That's what she said. But I feel like if someone told me, hey, my partner's not really comfortable with us like hanging out or talking, I wouldn't then text them and be like, hey, let's go on a hike.
Yeah.
But maybe he's
Is that the
stupid?
timeline of when it happened?
I think so. Because I think he just asked about the hike. In my honest opinion, it would not be unreasonable to insist your wife cut off this friendship. He's a snake, and she's encouraging him by not setting appropriate boundaries as a married woman. OP replied, one person said the text seemed normal. Seems like everyone else agrees with your reading. I'm inclined to agree too. It's wildly suspicious. The context, the LOL, makes me see red, honestly, if I think about it too much. If it really were that level of disrespect, I can't tolerate that. I emailed our therapist about addressing what we missed in our last session and how to address it. I'll probably share this post with her or read it at the next session or some truncated version of it. Thanks though, appreciate your input. And that is the end of the story.
Everyone just run away from each other.
Yeah, this is not a healthy relationship. You guys have progressed very far. And neither of you are in the right, quite frankly.
And he started off so good and so self-aware.
Yeah.
And then
just downhill so freaking fast.
Now we're just here and I'm sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going on because apparently I'm going crazy.
Agree.
Yeah.
Like we still don't know if she's actually done, if she's cheated.
Yeah.
But she definitely has crossed a lot of boundaries and been very disrespectful of the relationship. And so is OP.
I think it's what you said earlier in the story where it's like, something has happened, even if it's not like he even like made a literal pass, but it's just kind of like that flirtation that she's being willfully ignorant of because maybe she likes the attention.
Agreed.
But if you disagree with us, you can freaking
get in the comments.
Fight us in the comments, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Write down paragraphs of why. Write a soliloquy, a novella of why we're so wrong.
Write it in iambic pentameter.
Do that.
My husband cheated on me with 2 women. He wants to stay together because he has cancer. Should I stay?
Okay, Sam, this has to be the craziest story in OK Storytime podcast history.
Well, that's because it's dumping week, and this user writes, my partner told me when we first got together that he has cancer, and if his operation doesn't go well, could be terminal. He is currently living with his mom while he is in recovery so that it takes the pressure off me caring for both him and our baby until he is well enough to move into our new home with us. Well, last week, we had an attempted break-in. I asked my husband, who is supposed to be at his mom's, to come over and change the locks, but he wouldn't. Then his mom told me he wasn't with her. I went to Facebook, and it took me less than an hour to find the first 2 women he was cheating on me with.
What else is he lying about?
I don't know, John, but also first two, not last two. This story is going to get messy. One thing my paranoia just wouldn't let up about was his cancer and his treatments. I asked his mom about it, who told me he doesn't have cancer.
Oh,
She also informed me he was in rehab, not the hospital. Apparently, he suffered from addiction and was trying to recover for me and our baby.
that's not good news.
Throw him out. I never mentioned to him what I knew. I assumed it was the embarrassment of wanting to get clean without me knowing so he could be a good partner and dad. I was proud of him for getting that help that I never spoke about it.
We just skipped all the things to work on the cheating and everything. Yeah, I was proud for him. Like going and getting rehab behind my back after cheating and all that stuff.
Man gets the hall pass of the century. The bar is so low. The bar is in the magma in the middle of the earth.
Dude, it's, you know what? Below the space-time continuum.
Below.
We got to go below the Milky Way galaxy.
It's in a wormhole,
It's in a
traveling
wormhole.
through space. And still, this man is trying to limbo under it.
Yeah. And
With-
she's letting him.
And she's letting him.
What the heck?
With his autoimmune disease, his mom explained how brutal it has been for him and that he did have chemo a few years back. So maybe that's where he's confused.
No. Also, Mom, why are you, like, defending him?
I mean, sometimes you think, oh, like that person on Facebook's my wife, and you just gotta DM them pictures of your just in case. Well, pregnancy brain is a real thing, or maybe I'm just too blindly in love. Emphasis on the blind, because I accepted this and never questioned it again.
Ooh, no communication. Okay.
No
That's where we're at.
communication. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. After discovering the first two women, I sent my partner a message telling him to let his girlfriend know I'm asking after her and not to bother coming home anymore. Okay, maybe she's putting her foot down, breaking the
Wow.
limbo stick.
We're all right. We're flipping it up. I like it. I guess.
All right, you're giving me a little whiplash, but
Yeah.
it's the kind of whiplash that I like.
I'll
maybe.
take it for now.
I've had the locks changed from the break-in, so he can't get in. Double win. He panicked and started begging me to answer the phone and let him come see me so he could explain everything. Babe, it was my sickness brain. I thought she was you.
What if it was a nurse?
And
He's like, I was so confused. I thought I was back in the hospital, and then she was a nurse, and then
They said it was an experimental treatment where they just had to go crazy on it, bounce on it crazy style. I started to see everything through clear eyes for the first time and realized how long he had been gaslighting me for and told him, no,
There it is.
dump him.
There it is.
Dump him in the ground.
Get him in there.
Put a hole that goes straight to the magma chambers of the earth.
Go.
Kick him in there Sparta style.
And then we'll fart him into the wormhole.
Put him into the wormhole.
There he is.
He doesn't deserve to be in the same universe as you.
Dude, the heck no.
Realizing he couldn't get through to me and now aware I was trying to contact his girlfriend, he panicked and went to her instead. Got a backup home. During that time, I found a photo. Uh-oh. Is it a spicy photo? She had shared of the two of them and shared it to my profile, petty, with the caption, "Can someone please ask this woman to contact me?"
Yeah.
So OP wants to contact the girlfriend because she wants to tell the truth of the web of lies.
She's putting it on blast.
She's
like,
putting it on blast. She's like, the truth will set you free. And she's trying to spread that truth far and wide. Trying to
to every
put that
Facebook
truth-
user.
Every
in the
Facebook.
world.
Yeah. Maybe throw it into the wormhole too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
everyone
honestly.
can know. She instantly blocked me. Maybe she knew. But her sister got in touch with me instead. Apparently, the family has never trusted him and knew something was wrong.
That also means that they were deep in the relationship.
Yeah.
That the family even knew that.
This wasn't just a fling. This was a girlfriend. Also, like, OP, how you not seeing these red flags? Like, old guy's family knew.
Super quick personal OK story time. I know of a person who had a wife and family for 5 years, and
A separate wife and family? A second family? Which one was the practice one?
the person I know was the practice.
That was the
one.
practice family.
He would come home with glitter, and he said, "Oh, I did Sunday arts and school, Sunday school arts and crafts
with his
He
other
was
kids or with strippers.
That's who it really was."
Whoa!
But
he had a
said no,
family with a
arts and
stripper.
crafts. No. So he was going to the strip club even with the wife at home and the girlfriend.
Double practice family.
Yeah, he was going crazy.
Oh, but maybe he would find a stripper with a heart of gold. Anyway, back to the story. This affair is serious enough to have met the family. Man is a full-time juggler. She says he has told her not to speak to me as I'm deranged stalker he slept with once years ago and has been hunting him down, trying to convince people my baby is his. The gaslighting is unreal.
Yeah, that's the mother of your child, and you're telling people unacceptable.
Nah, dude, that's just some girl. I don't know what you're doing. What information do you have, bro? I think you're off. You're off base.
We've got to figure out some.
You're
new...
deranged. You need to be put on block.
Apparently.
I sent her a photo of the birth certificate. Wow. And us in hospital together. To show her sister before he can lie to her anymore. Photoshop. During this, I am also messaging another woman who is furious at what he has done and is helping me with all the information she is aware of. Yes, unite.
Yes.
Powerpuff Girls, take this guy down.
We want this.
Yes, we want this, you know?
Sugar, spice, and everything nice. Emphasis on the spice.
Spice, yeah. There's not much nice here, but
No.
maybe, you know, through the power of cheating, new friendships can occur. It's a beautiful thing, you know? I fell in love in a hopeless place. It's going to be all of them when they realize how much they love each other.
I mean,
There's a reason that they all connected with this guy. They probably have a lot in common.
it could be the burgeoning of the greatest friendships the world has ever known through the most unlikely of circumstances.
Yeah, that's that.
Let's think positive.
Lemons
Let's
is the
think positive,
lemonade.
guys.
She tells me he broke her heart by cheating on her without even knowing he was cheating on me too. Also, if you're new here, there are multiple parts of this story, so make sure to follow us on iHeart and Apple Podcasts, and we're going to get back into this story. But it gets a little crazier.
Oh,
It
God.
gets a little crazier. And just to recap for everyone, a woman is confronting a man for gaslighting her about being the father and reaches out to others for support, and those others being this woman who is now like the guy is living with and is so deep that he's met this girl's whole family. And another girl that's like, oh, I didn't know he was cheating on me with both of you, OP, and this woman that met the family.
Yep. The wife and the two mistresses.
Yeah. Who's the most mistressy? Like, well, who's the most wife and who's the most mistressy?
It's got to be the third. Dude, the third person is just sad, man. Because, like, he's got the baby with OP. He's now living at home with the second. The third's just getting scraps.
Yeah, getting scraps, you know?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well, so now OP's constructing a timeline. So far, I have the current timeline. Chemo in March, a 19-year-old rehab in April. So he met the girl in rehab. July, a woman of an appropriate age this time, but also cheating on her. August, now his 20-year-old girlfriend. I then find out his emergency cancer medication that he had. So he had to leave in the middle of labor.
Crazy.
Because there was 2 failed epidurals. OP was screaming in agony, begging doctors to help because I thought I was passing away while the emergency team rushed in to place extra monitors on our baby in distress. But that was an actually huge turn on for him. So he needed to go sleep with the 20-year-old before making it back in time to kiss me before I went into emergency surgery.
Bro left in the middle of not only his baby's birth, but his wife, like emergency mode. He left in the middle of that to go get with this chick.
Just needs a little afternoon delight. Afternoon delight.
My God, this is without a doubt, the most horrendous case of afternoon delight in human history.
Yeah, I can't think of a worse one right now.
No worse examples.
Yeah, please
0.
let me know if you have a worse example. This is pretty bad.
Comment below. You can't beat it.
You
so
can't
go
beat
ahead
it.
and try.
You can't beat
I
it.
dare you.
But I hope no one can beat it. Well, this was Sunday. It is now Saturday the following week. I made a post on Facebook calling out my partner for his actions with photographs, medical notes, and evidence, and asking people to leave me alone on Tuesday after 48 hours of no sleep. Multiple calls to the crisis team and a barrage of harassment from his friends and family who want to sue me for character defamation. OP has the receipts.
Sue? Oh, dude, you have the audacity to round up lawsuits against her? Stop it.
Get some help.
Yeah, get out of here.
I need this.
Get outta here.
Dude needs to go down. I can't wait.
Well, if this was a regular affair, I'd lick my wounds and move on. But I have now learnt I have been leaving my daughter alone with a substance regular user who is claiming he doesn't know me or his daughters to others, but demanding custody rights to me. So publicly, he's saying that's not my kid. Privately, he's like, I still want to see my kid.
It's go time. I think it's go time.
He just wants to be a good dad.
he's like, hey, I have my daughter. I need to know women as much as possible. How can I know? I don't only have one wife. I have to have 3 women to understand women enough to raise my daughter.
Exactly. He's getting a sample size. You know, he's ensuring that he just understands. Like, women's are like diamonds, multifaceted, and he only has 3 facets.
I mean, bro's building a small army.
How many facets is a normal diamond? 20? He's far from his final form.
That's floor shit right there.
Dude, he's trying to go to VVS as far as you can go.
What's VVS?
That's like the highest quality, like clear diamond.
Damn, man's in a relationship deep.
Yeah, baby. You know my middle name.
Well, he doesn't know me, blah, blah, blah. 10s. Oh!
We were joking.
Oh!
But it's real.
Man has the facets. 10s. 10s of women. 10s of women have now come forward who have also dated him during our relationship with no idea of me or each other. 10s.
At a certain point,
You have to respect the game. That's insane.
Like, bro, if he had applied this to
Anything else, he would be a
business,
millionaire.
He would be
the president.
Dude, he would be the president.
He's kissing babies and making them.
The president of mistresses.
Oh my God.
He would make every baby he has to kiss to win.
Man, is Genghis Khan over here. He's going to
Holy
be
moly.
repopulating the earth.
Holy moly.
His seed is spreading far and wide. 10s! The scheduling of that alone
I mean,
is mythical.
again, like, he would be the greatest, like, organizer, logistics COO in human history.
I can barely talk to 10 friends in a week.
Right?
To have 10 mistresses?
Bro, you need to hire him for all your new dates.
Oh, I know. I've been going to Hinge dates recently.
He's about to catch a client contract.
Hopefully catch nothing else. This obviously is really upsetting. Understatement of the century. But what upsets me the most is that I'm beginning to notice a very worrying pattern.
More than we already have to worry, okay? More than, okay.
What? How does... Man is the onion of terribleness.
Truly.
You just keep peeling layers.
So many
and
layers, bro.
and you're like, oh, it can't possibly be worse than this. And it's moldier. It's stinkier. It's more disturbing with every layer.
I don't understand.
What's your guess on what could be possibly more worrying than everything that we've seen before?
He left a trail of some spicy diseases.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's worse. They're waifus. Riley says they're waifus. I'm fine with a couple waifus.
Oh, is he? No, I see. Are they all the same type of woman?
Oh.
Basically. Does he have a type? Does he have a type?
Yeah, I guess that would feel pretty bad, where it was like guy just has a type and they like all look the same.
It's 20 clones.
It's 20 clones. Because then I would be like, not only is he cheating on me, but I'm like common enough to find 20 of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would feel bad. Oh,
I'm not ready for this, but I am, but I'm not.
Let us know what your guesses are in the comments. No cheating. Don't skip ahead. No cheating you. Okay. Well, he has told every single one of these women that he has cancer and can't get them pregnant. Man's trying to raw dog his way to Genghis Khan fame, I think.
That's kind of what it seems
Like. Yeah, he's farming.
Because remember, OP was like, oh, I'm pregnant now. Whoa.
Yeah, whoa. I said my labor and delivery was difficult. I was induced due to an infection I had. My GP had told me I had an STI, and although I understood and took the treatment and was induced, my madly in love pregnancy brain never accepted it as an STI until I went back this week and checked my hospital discharge notes, and there in big, bold letters, sensitive partner STI. So the doctors knew.
I called it, but I'm not happy.
You did call it.
I did call it.
That's a little bit of a Reddit guru right there.
But
you don't feel great about it.
I feel like garbage.
Yeah, it's like saying the end is
Straight
nigh, and then like a meteor hits the planet, and you're like, oh well, I was right, but this.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
What's
see
the
just
point?
the cloud of just terribleness, ash
everywhere,
and magma hit you.
If only OP's husband was in there, then I would be thrilled.
Yeah.
As
Hopefully.
is, not good.
Well, at least he has whatever she has. I'll be having what she's having, and
that's one thing you don't want to share.
Yeah,
sharing is not caring.
That is not caring. Well, also, if you're new here, there are multiple parts of this story, so make sure to follow us, OK Storytime Podcast, on the iHeart app or Apple Podcast. Okay, back to the story. So he's been telling women that he has cancer and can't get them pregnant, so they don't use protection, which led to an STI, which almost unalived me and his daughter in labor. And he wasn't even there to be with us because he was sleeping with a girl who also believes he has cancer.
Bro, actually, like in real reality worlds, needs to go to jail for, like, he needs to be sentenced for, like, lifetime isn't enough. It has to be like thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
Like just so many years in prison. So
Yeah.
many. Locked in a box.
I think I was going to say, like, hopefully not with everyone else. 'Cause we don't want those things spreading.
I mean,
I think,
bro
you know,
will get at. We can't put him around any humans.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
man is going to get after whatever he sees in front of him.
We can't have it.
We can't have it.
Box, walls, lock. Boom, throw away.
Maybe he has holes in the walls. Just, you know.
No, we can't give him
I think, you know.
no pillows.
No pillows, no waifu pillows.
Oh, dude, definitely not those.
I don't know. I think I would like to give him one hole. He's human. He's human after all.
If I can give him 5,000 years. No
Five-
holes. No holes.
5,000 years in one hole.
Absolutely not.
All right.
0.
No holes.
This judge is saying no.
No holes. All right, let us know if that jurisdiction is uncalled for. Well, I decided to let everyone know that he, in fact, does not have cancer by using a screenshot of his mom's messages. All the women he has slept with to make sure they take a pregnancy and STI test, and all of his friends who he's been guilting for years over his condition, and also social services and the police for spicy-related endangerment.
Yes.
Bop,
We're getting them. It's all, the house of cards is tumbling
Yeah.
down, and I love it.
We are clapping back on the man with the clap.
Yeah.
Well,
God.
Me and my daughter now have safeguarding in place for us from a local organization for women leaving abusive relationships. So I feel very safe to reveal the truth about him and make sure all of his partners are safe and informed. As he couldn't uphold his legal obligation of declaring an STI, I guess his postpartum girlfriend will do it for him. I have also had contact from many of his old friends, band members.
Dude, let's delete his page. I don't know. Delete his music.
I hope he has 0 listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
And ex-partners who have all given me testimonies to use for the police and as backup for if his mother does in fact try to sue me. This man has been lying and manipulating women for over 9 years. 9 years.
9 years, man.
Probably a lot. Again, we didn't say it wasn't like 10 women. It was tens. It was tens. That could be up to 9 tens.
I mean, I think he could have 10 children. Or like,
I think
at
he
least
could have
10,
more.
Like, he could have
tens. He's sleeping with all of them unprotected.
We're trying.
Yeah. So far, everyone is now aware of his lies, and I'm waiting for my in-person meeting with the police.
Good.
I'm also preparing for legal battle.
Yes.
Oh, also, my partner is a primary school teacher. Man should not be teaching the youth.
Get him away.
Get him away.
Oh.
Get him away.
Well, definitely getting fired, so that's good.
Yeah,
Happy about that.
Oh, my goodness. So it's come to light this week that his ex-partners have been reporting him for years to no avail.
Wow.
So this isn't the first time my man has been found out for cheating on multiple women.
Which makes sense that he's been reported before, but horrendous that it hasn't like
come out
worked.
again.
Thank God it's working now. Oh my God.
His mom is on the school board and her best friend is his head teacher. And he's a teacher. This man is teaching the youth.
Get him out of the schools.
Get him out of the schools. The only thing I want him teaching is scheduling and time management. Because again, how?
Insanity.
Insane. I'm hoping with the added element of social services this time and an investigation into child endangerment for our daughter, they can't sweep it under the carpet any longer. We're escalating the situation. Where in the UK, his complaints have been escalated to LADO in the past, which is basically our version of what controls the school's judgment over any dangerous situations, but nothing has happened. One of his exes gave me all the dirty details of their report to push that they ignored her, and it's escalated to this. So at least OP's escalating, but it seems like nothing has happened in the past.
Yeah, at each checkpoint, no one's taken any action so far.
And a commenter responds, feel like we need a full name and a link to his Facebook, or at the very least, to make sure he is up on Prick Advisor. What is that?
Dude, apparently, I guess
Prick Advisor?
A service for, let's investigate here.
Prick Advisor.
Yeah, I've never heard of this. I've heard of sites though where it's like women can be like, "Oh, don't get with this guy. Watch out."
Really?
Oh yeah. There's definitely some sites out there.
I saw like this thing where it was like fboy.com. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it, but
Anyway, OP responds, he deleted his Facebook after I made a post on here. He is the most convincing person you have ever met. For the first time, someone proved him wrong by posting medical evidence and he couldn't take it. I'm waiting on approval to join Prick Advisor UK. And are we dating the same man in Northeast? To warn all the other women, I couldn't find myself. And commenter asks, what STI did he pass to you? Has your baby been tested and or treated? And OP responds, at the time, I refused further testing in denial and regret it so much. I was given a course of antibiotics, and because my symptoms went, they left it at that for me. All I know is from the STI being untreated for so long, I ended up with strep group B2, which is why I needed to be induced. So I was on an antibiotic trip when my waters were broken, so my baby would be safe. She's perfectly healthy and faced no issues, luckily.
Thank God.
The small wins. I think I've been lucky, and whatever it was must have not turned into an STD because my medical documents only say partner STI. We also haven't slept together for a very long time now after my surgery, so I know I'm at least safe now. And a commenter responds, how does he manage his time?
We asked the same
That's
question.
what I want to know! Like, is his superpowered time management a full-time job which requires extra hour work, a baby, a girlfriend, a mother, many lovers? OP responds, he would disappear from time to time and switch his phone off a lot. Yikes. Not living together was a huge help for him. He would tell me he needed to set days and times, etc., as he can only work in routines for his recovery. Obviously, I can look back now and see that really he just needed to know which girl was where and when. I've been told by multiple people now that he will often just not turn up to work because he's on a bender or at a woman's house, and I was kept in the dark because his mom's best friend is the head teacher and would cover for him. His mom was his pickup accomplice.
This is I'm sorry if you, not only if you're a teacher and you just don't show up multiple times, but don't show up multiple times and they figure out the reason was you went on a bender with some woman and you're married.
And how are you still employed? I don't understand this. This is
does that mean the mom was in the know of exactly what he was doing
too? I think the mom
right?
was in the know, and the mom's just wingmanning. She's like, that's my boy.
We need to lock them both up.
Yeah, so bad. Well, commenter says, he is a serial adulterer. He spreads STIs. He lies about having cancer. He's a primary school teacher and he's in a band. And OP responds, was in a band. I've just found out this week that he wasn't punted out in 2019 for having cancer like he told me, but punted out in 2018 when his abusive behavior towards women was exposed, and they cut all ties with him except one band member who didn't believe it and never mentioned anything about it to me or gave me the heads up. And commenter responds, is your boyfriend my ex? Because my ex was also a substance regular user who faked cancer and other health problems while abusing me physically, mentally, and spicy sleepily. And OP responds, if he lives in the UK and used to be in a feminist punk band. Not a feminist punk band.
I hate this
No.
I hate this guy so
Bro
much.
knows how to source.
No.
I hate this guy.
Oh, man. Oh.
So many issues. Definitely he's mentally deranged.
Oh, wait. I need to look up something really quick. What is it called? Oh,
The service?
no.
Or the thing to find?
He's probably like, sorry, dropped my book of poems by Rupi Kaur. What is it?
This
What-
guy's a feminist. I don't know it. Bro, I do not know. Being 100% honest here. I know Susan B. Anthony.
Susan B. Anthony? I don't got.
Shout out.
Sorry, I dropped my Margaret Atwood feminist poetry book.
God.
All right.
One more time for the money.
Yeah, bro. After coming away from his feminist rock concert, he's like, "Ooh, sorry, dropped my Margaret Atwood feminist poetry book."
They believed it. They believed it. That was.
Thank
You got me on that one.
Thank you. I think, or Rupi Kaur, I forgot whatever that one is. Anyway, I'm so sorry for your experience and hope you've healed. Commenter says, OP, the Daily Mail will be all over this. They would, says OP, I've shown my social worker what I've shared online so far, and no one has been named or can be identified on here. That's okay. And I've been extremely polite about the situation and only exposed myself on Facebook, so they're okay with me sharing that. But for the sake of not giving him any more ammo or information to use in his defense, I need to be careful until the investigations are over. I wouldn't want to mess up my case and have him teaching for another 6 years like the last time he was reported. And another commenter says, make it public. Make sure parents know and that the head of the school board has been protecting him. Yeah, I mean, all right, really quick, I want to pause right here because it's like, to what level do you flame this guy publicly? Because he is a public menace.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question.
Because usually we're like, the usual advice on the show is like, flaming people publicly usually isn't necessary.
Well, this is like
This
a
is
1000x the
exactly.
usual, like, I don't even know. But yeah, this is like just blown out of the water, gargantuan proportions.
Yeah. So I'm like, I feel like it's gotten to the point where, for example, if there is a pothole in the road, you'd like tell your town representatives, hey, like there's a pothole in the road, like affecting everyone. Like this man is like a relationship pothole. He's a cavern in the road, and you want to make sure all the cars know not to drive towards it. So I think like publicly flaming him might be a PSA.
Absolutely. Like anything that OP wants to do and is comfortable with. And like probably, I mean, there's so many women, that they might also do the same.
Yeah, you are doing a public service, but you at the detriment of probably your own peace.
Yeah, I think for OP, it's like, hey, do I want to go full bore with this and take?
Yeah, do I want to take this on my shoulders? You're already dealing with so much.
Which for OP, it's like either way, you're the one you're the victim in the situation, so it's like
so you can
up
choose
to
what you
you.
want to
But that it is a PSA. Like there's probably a lot of women that don't even know right now.
I would say like generally, if someone cheats on you, I don't think you need to publicly flame them. Like I like generally, I don't think that's like, I think that honestly takes more energy away from you than them. But if they are consistently doing it and there's like a roster of 50 people that are just completely getting screwed over, that's when you're like, okay, maybe I want to warn people.
Yeah.
The recap publicly calling out the man's behavior like a pothole-filled road could serve as a public service.
Love it.
OP, sadly, I think parents are aware and not receiving help from the school in the situation. One woman he dated during the summer realized who he was when she went to drop her child off at school in September.
Yeah, it's like how there has to be something like that eventually.
Bro, he's probably hot.
I think he's just like a devious, evil mastermind.
Yes, but
evil mastermind.
Hot mastermind.
Maybe.
Devious, hot. There's no way. Like, this man is...
Probably, yeah, he's probably a looker. He's probably a looker.
He's far and wide. She's been updating me to let me know that he wasn't seen in school for multiple days after my health visitors and social worker began the reports on Monday, but he was back in half a day Friday. So man's back to work as normal.
God.
By the way, this story is multiple parts. Make sure to follow us on iHeart Podcast app or Apple Podcasts. Let's get back into the story because we have an update, John.
Oh my God. This is the first update.
We have an update, and this update is from February 10th, 2025. This year.
Oh my God.
This year.
Wow.
We got some juice to squeeze. Some juice to squeeze.
You're not lying.
I'm not lying. All right. You ready?
Unfortunately, let's do it.
Update the next day. I spoke to the police this morning. There is nothing they can do unless they find the substances on his person in the school, so nothing is stopping him from snorting a line before he starts work as long as he takes nothing else with him.
My gabbers are flaccid.
They've employed the loophole that they can catch him behind the wheel, and if someone reported him driving on substances, they could catch him that way. So basically, I mean, there's nothing much they can do.
That's insanity.
They said they can confirm that multiple reports and investigations have begun before even my report, so they are unable to share much information with me, even though his case involves me, but they told me it is imperative I apply for Claire's Law and have helped me with the application. It can take up to 10 days for my in-person meeting to provide my documents, and then it can take several weeks for the information to be shared with me. Knowing what I do already, I feel sick that they have told me how important it is for me to make the application. I can't believe in a few weeks he is going to discuss me even further when I receive his police records. My only silver lining. So she's getting all the records and putting all the stuff out to like just, 4D chess this man and get him in trouble.
Yes.
My only silver lining is that once I have the police reports on top of my medical records, he doesn't stand a chance in family court, and me and my girl will be free to restart our lives together. So that's a win.
That is a win. That is definitely a win.
Also, another little note, I've been looking for family court advice in a mom support group and have been informed that luckily she's only 5 months old and any name changes can be made before 6 months with only one parent's consent.
So she can name the baby back to
can get rid of the name. Yeah,
That's great.
And the witnesses don't need to be his choice, so I will be removing his surname and his grand's name from her middle name for her to take my surname and not have any more ties to his family.
We love that.
That's a win. That's a win.
That is a
We're
win.
taking all the small wins we can get.
Yeah.
Also, if you're new here and to this story, make sure to follow us on iHeart Podcast and Apple Podcasts. This is part 1 of a 3-part story. Okay, let's get back into the story. So, some of OP's comments explaining more information. You should also look into the Offenses Against the Person Act in 1861 if he knew he had an STI and spread it to you and others by telling you all not to use any kind of protection that may be illegal. OP responds, my health visitor made the exact same point. She said she would look into it for me and make the report on my behalf as she has a legal obligation to report everything I said anyway. My worry is when speaking to the police today, they said without physical evidence, they can't really do much, even if multiple women come forward with the exact same claim. It's still hearsay and can't be pursued.
Insane. Dude, the UK legal system is...
I think it might be the same here, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
because it is all hearsay technically.
I
the
wonder-
only thing you can do is just roast him in the court of public opinion.
Well, maybe it's like civil or like, what is it? Criminal and civil, right? So it's like criminal court. Okay, that's the case. But civil court, everyone can sue and like we can just do as much as we can there.
Yeah,
that's at least
but
in the States.
I feel like OP wouldn't have like that much ground. Although I'm not sure. Let us know in the comments below if you think OP would have a case. But I think OP's best bet is flaming him in the public opinion court.
That is true. But lawyers, if you got a case plan, put it in the
Let
comments.
us know.
Please.
I've checked all my past messages and can't find anything in writing from him that can be used. And a commenter said, I get lawyered really fast. I think there's a law against sharing private messages now, but I think you should be fine since the other women are consenting to their messages being used as evidence. That might be a loophole. Also, there's a Facebook group of women who post guys and their crimes, so maybe they know not to date these individuals. And since it's a closed group, they are careful who they let in, and he won't be able to get in there because they're really good at sniffing out a nosy dude and punting them. So you might want to add that in there so others don't fall for his tricks, which is kind of what we said before. And OP responds, thank you for your concern and advice. I've shown my support worker what I've shared, and she said everything is above board. He's also already been named and shamed in a couple of groups by someone he was speaking to on a dating app after finding about me. So I guess like, dude, his posse of tens of exes are now uniting to just flame him openly on the internet.
All of the levers, we're pressing all of the red buttons to have him just flamed to bits.
Yeah.
And I love it.
It's necessary at this point because it's like, again, we are against just flaming for flame's sake. I often feel that when we try to put someone down, even after they've wronged us, it hurts us more than it hurts them. But this is a PSA at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this is 10,000x the normal
usual
slight incident. This is big.
Well, so I've only shown my own information. I would never expose another woman, and no one has been named but me and my partner. And in all honesty, the post was more to prove that we had been in a relationship and had a child more than anything, as he was getting his friends and family to harass me, saying he didn't know me and gaslit me so much I just started to doubt the past year and a half myself. I only said what he had done to me and just mentioned that I was aware now that he had affairs. I've gone in much more detail here about things with the safety of being anonymous. I shared photos of us together, text messages of our boring lives, love you more, we need nappies, etc., and my medical records showing the STI. In the UK, it's only illegal to show other people's messages without consent, and the only ones I have are saved to be used in court with the women who have sent me them's consent, if it comes to it. As I am the one who had sent the messages, I've shared, and there is no defamation. My social worker thinks it'll be okay. Again, if you're new here, this is part 2 of this story. We got some juicier bits coming around the corner, so make sure you're following us on the iHeart Podcast app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Click the link in the description to go to our profile to get the next part of the story.
It's juicy.
It's juicy. It's juicy. We're going to get into the next one right now. I've managed to provide enough evidence of substance use and emotional blackmail to the police to have a domestic abuse case opened. Again, this guy was a substance user for a long time.
All the cases. Open all the cases.
This is going straight past the school to the highest authority to keep him away from children. This is huge news and gives me such relief in knowing my child and others will be safe, but I still have that awful feeling of guilt for him. Just 2 weeks ago, we called each other bride and groom.
Dude, he got so deep in her neurons. He freaking, the gaslighting was 1,000 degrees.
He had depth with a lot of people. Think it's going to take for a while to grieve for the person I thought I knew while dealing with the one I know now. I hope this is the point he actually goes to rehab instead of lying about it and can find happiness and restart his life. I don't think I want to make more updates now. I am unbelievably grateful for the kind words and advice, but I originally just wrote this to get my emotions out of my head to help me sleep better. I know I used a clickbaity title, but I did not expect my post to blow up like this. Thank you all for helping and making my emotions feel validated in an absolutely insane situation. There is more to this story, by the way. Me and my little girl are going to be okay, and we got some edits coming in. All right, we got an edit. So this was written a week after it happened, so the police seemed quick, but in actual fact, I'm still waiting on updates from Claire's Law and the cases they mentioned during my interview. What is Claire's Law? Can we look that up really quick, Rouse? We're going to pull that up right now. I'm 27 and my ex is 33. GBS isn't an STI, and I apologize if I didn't make that clear. It's a bacteria contracted from being intimate, apparently common in people with autoimmune disease, but only harmful during pregnancy. And Claire's Law is known as the Domestic Violence Disclosure Scheme, is a police policy giving people the right to know if their current or ex-partner has any previous history of violence or abuse. Okay, so basically putting this guy on a list so everyone knows that he's garbage.
And he didn't share it with her, which I guess he broke that.
So OP says, I never received an STI testing during pregnancy due to being over 25. My GP told me that my symptoms presented as an STI and recommended testing for you're a goner, but I turned down the offer thinking it wasn't possible. And she just told me I had GBS, so it must have been only that. It was my discharge papers from the hospital that had sensitive partner STI under the risk assessment section. I made a mistake. He did actually tell me he was in rehab. I forgot as I didn't have text messages about it. He emailed me for 1 month telling me he couldn't have his phone in rehab, and I completely forgot. Yes, he is still with his new girlfriend.
Wow.
She is sadly under the same spell I was. What is this man? She rang me off my mother-in-law's phone to demand a DNA test on my child, and they have all been blocked since. I start DA counseling this month, and I'm also on a waiting list for perinatal counseling too to help me process my trauma and get help as a single mother. I'm not doing very well at the moment, but my daughter is doing extremely well.
That's good.
You know, the little wins, the little wins. He is still working at the school during all these investigations. And from what I've been told, I obviously don't go out drinking in town anymore to see for myself. He is substance dealing.
Dealing?
He's dealing. This man needs to be caught.
We need to just like have all the parents just like literally become like a guard, like Secret Service of parents. They're just like, nah, you're just not going.
You're not getting through.
We're just circling around you with our bodies. And
you're like bees in a hornet.
Yep.
You
We're
know?
not gonna let this happen.
Yeah. And then they vibrate and the hornet gets cooked.
Ugh. Do that, please. Something.
He's drinking and using every weekend with his group of 20-year-old friends. I hope that answers most of the questions in the comments. For the people saying they have been through similar, oh God, I hope not. I am so unbelievably sorry. This is the worst pain I've experienced. I would never wish it on another soul. If you're struggling, going through this, or still struggling, please contact your country's crisis teams and go to your doctors for mental health advice. I'm not sure about other counties, but the UK is brilliant for confidential help and advice. You're never alone. Thank you for all your advice and help. And that's where this story ends. We got another story in this episode coming up that's just as crazy, but wow, what a saga. I'm kind of mad there was no consequences for this guy, or seemingly no consequences.
I mean, hopefully, literally, it's now in the making. But we got to give OP the props and kudos because it seems that she was the one that started knocking the cards down the house of cards, and things were happening. OP made it happen.
Yeah, but I'm like, this guy, he was confronted, years before, and then he just built a new roster.
absolute insanity.
And, you know, he could just move.
Like, I don't understand how the parents haven't like revolted or like a revolt in general hasn't happened like in the school and like all the areas.
We need a
of his
movement
life.
with these tens of people.
Well,
They
like
need to band together.
Like the scandal, I don't know. I mean, I do know it's tragic, but like, wow. I'm hopefully it's right around the corner for this guy for it all to come crashing down.
And I would love to know in the comments, like, what do you think about this public flaming? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's too much? Do you think it's too little? Let us know what you think in the comments below. But we got one more story for you before we end this episode.
Let's dive in. I encouraged my wife to explore non-monogamy, and it ruined my marriage.
Oh, man, she explored it too much.
Who would have thunk? So I, 30 male, am in an 8-year-long happy marriage with my 30 female beautiful wife. Nothing to complain about during all of those years. Really? Neither of us wanted kids, both of us wanted cats, and we are passionate about traveling. We spent 2 years living in a motorhome through South America, plus backpacking every vacation to different countries. 33 so far.
That is sick.
This sounds like your dream life.
Yeah,
right here.
dude, except maybe not the failed non-monogamy, but everything else sounds great.
One little piece. One little piece to change.
Oh, man.
All things considered, we have a nearly perfect life. By the way, this comes from RemarkableNet4658, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit and send them in. But I have to say, I never believed in monogamy. It was always clear to her. But as this has never been her belief, I've always been okay with it and never cheated nor asked her permission to get involved with anybody because I've always felt completely fulfilled in our relationship. So, not a believer in non-monogamy, but is doing it for his partner.
Which I think is like fine.
That's, hey, like,
that's fine.
If you actually don't, run around, perfect.
Yeah.
We're perfect. Yeah. Nevertheless, I always told her if she were willing to have something with any other person, it would be completely okay for me, even though I don't have that permission myself. So he's saying like, yo, you can go see other guys. I'm cool with that. I don't even need to see other women. He's cool with it.
I feel like this is going to backfire, bro. This is going to backfire. Non-monogamy is, I mean, any kind of relationship is tricky. But when you just have like so many relationship dynamics, it just gets complicated. People can do it for sure, but it's just difficult.
You need to spread your, like the butterfly on my shirt, she needs to spread her wings and fly. Why are you trying to cocoon her, Sam?
She's going to fly away, man.
Let her fly.
She's going to fly away.
In any direction, including away. So the only thing I asked her would be to tell me that first. So in the last couple of months, she told me that she would also give me the permission to be with other people if I wanted to. So now...
Dual permission.
As I said, I am fulfilled by her. I am actually completely devoted to her. She is my muse. Every day I wake up grateful for having her in my life.
Why are you trying to change? You guys have it perfect. Why are you trying to change it?
No.
It's
not broken, but we have to fix it.
No.
You know the saying.
Oh, man.
We met in college and I had never been in love before her. And during all the 12 years since we've known each other, I have never wanted anyone else. So I didn't look for anyone to hook up with. I don't even know if he believes in non-monogamy. He sounds so...
You sound very monogamous. Well, I think you can believe that monogamy is not the best relationship structure, but find yourself in a relationship that gives you everything you need.
Or maybe it's academically or conceptually, yeah.
Like for me, conceptually, I think non-monogamy makes more sense than monogamy, but I don't think I could be in a non-monogamous relationship.
Right. That's what he's thinking.
That's what I think.
Oh, that's what you think?
Yeah, conceptually, I think non-monogamy makes more sense than monogamy. But feelings-based, it doesn't feel good for me.
Right. Dude, you and OP need to link up. Bro. I feel like you would be like best buds.
Oh, man. I'm looking into my future.
Traveling, everything. I'm just saying. But one night a month ago, she didn't come home from work and didn't tell me anything. Of course, I was worried and texted her. Hours later, around 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning, she told me she was drinking with her colleagues, which is pretty regular, but she always tells me in advance. Not this time. So in the morning, I go to work and she still hasn't come home yet, and we only met after I returned home. Of course, I'm mad. Thank God for the first time. But I patiently wait for her to tell me how her night bar hopping was and how fun it was. She then proceeds to tell me she hooked up with one of her male coworkers.
And she didn't say anything about it beforehand? What was the one rule? See, this is what I'm saying, dude. It's like once you open up the lid of the can a little bit, just people with no scruples are going busting open that can and peeing inside of it.
Gotta fly away. Fly away. And they slept in the same bed. No spicy sleeping.
Wait. Oh, okay. So they didn't fully hook up. So they slept in the same bed.
Maybe a make-out hookup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They smooched. They did a little smooch, a little snogging.
And Opie says, I'm happy for her. She's finally free.
Really?
There you go, Sam. He's happy for her.
Real? Okay.
Let him be thrilled. Let him be overjoyed.
I would be a little annoyed if I said, hey, just tell me beforehand. And she didn't tell me beforehand.
Do you not appreciate transformation?
That's true. That's true. That's true.
She
She's
is
a beautiful
out
butterfly.
of the cocoon, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I hate
You're right.
it.
You're right. You're right. I'm really not being a feminist.
There we go. Pick up that book.
I need to
from that author.
Margaret Atwater.
Yeah.
Atwood.
Atwood.
Yeah,
One
I
of
gotta
those.
pick up my book of feminist poetry, dude. I need to remind myself.
Now, at the same time, I'm still pretty mad because I was not informed first.
As you should be.
Brody,
OP, do not walk that back. That is not chill.
listen to those
That
feelings,
is
OP.
not chill.
She then explains, nobody intended it to happen. This was simply just a wasted decision. I understand, that's plausible, but I'm still uncomfortable. I tried to kiss her, and she asked me not to because she needs to sleep for a while since she'll be working in a couple of hours. I'm not liking it.
You know what I'm thinking,
What are
Johnny
you thinking?
boy?
Tell me. Lay it down.
I'm thinking we're trickling.
I'm
I'm thinking we're trickling. I think we have a little case of the trickle truth.
Mm-hmm. She's got the full thing, but let me just
Yeah,
let me sprinkle.
Yeah, we kissed, but we stayed in the same bed, but we definitely didn't hook up. And then you got to the next day is like, well, we hooked up, but it was definitely only him. The next day is like, well, the whole friend group hooked up, and it was a massive class action orgy.
Yeah.
Next day,
it's amazing.
the next day, it just gets better and better.
I think that's.
I think
we're
we're trickle truthing.
It's about to. We're gonna from snowball to avalanche. That's where we're headed.
Her mouth is definitely dirty.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's why she doesn't want to kiss.
Yeah, dude. I'm surprised he's so willing and ready to smooch.
Bro is the most understanding human on the planet.
He's too understanding.
Too understanding. Too understanding.
Too nice.
So she says she needs to sleep for a while and that she'll be working in a couple of hours. That's fair. I have to shower and go to work too. Well, a few days passed. And a friend of hers texted me. It was nothing spicy, but she comments on one of my Instagram posts complimenting my body. We've been in the same group of friends for over a decade, and complimenting is rather acceptable in the group dynamics. The last time we met, I felt a different look, and it was stuck in my head. I even commented on it with my wife, and we laughed about it. I guess I should start a conversation and see where it leads, I think.
Bro, everyone's you had a perfect relationship and you're messing it up.
Dude,
you're messing it up.
is there a game that we
You don't
all
have good
the
enough
wrong
rules.
decisions?
Yeah, dude.
Like, is there a game where it's like we stop reading when they stop making the wrong decision? And
Yeah.
it's like they just
every decision. Yeah, I like that actually.
Yeah.
That's great. We read Reddit stories until someone actually does something good.
Yes, yeah. Someone stops being an idiot.
Yeah.
Something like there's something
Someone
there.
stops being the a-hole.
There's some of that. So far, complete failure across the board. We are good to keep going. So my suspicions were not wrong. She wanted to have an affair with me. Why not? I think.
She wanted to have an affair. Is she in a relationship?
So this is the Instagram girl. She
But
commented.
she wants to have an affair, but it's not an affair if they're in an open marriage, right?
Yeah, I guess. They need to get better at their hook up
I
and
don't
affair. They
know.
need to look up dictionary definitions of
Yeah,
this.
dude, I think nothing in this relationship has been defined. They're like, all right, if you're going to have an open relationship, if you're going to do non-monogamy, the rules have to be defined. Even if you're a regular relationship, you have to define what is flirting, what's not flirting, what's okay in a relationship. All these things have to be defined because people have very different conceptualizations of what a relationship is, and you haven't talked about it, then you don't know what each other think, right?
Yes.
So with this, they haven't talked about crap. They're just wheeling and dealing. They're like the gunslingers of the Wild West. There are no rules. There's people being unalived in the streets every day because there's a sheriff in town and he's not looking. He's not making any rules. He's in his little sheriff corner, I don't know, drinking whiskey alone.
You've seen those Air Force shows, right? OP and his partner, they're not trained
Force
pilots.
shows. What Air Force show?
Where they take the planes and they do backflips and loop-de-loops
Oh,
and go all crazy,
like
right?
the Blue Angels.
The Blue Angels, bingo.
Yeah.
OP and his partner are getting into these planes. They're flying to loop-de-loops, zero training, and they're going to land.
That's what
That's what they're doing.
That's what they're doing, and that's what they're expecting.
Yes. This
We're
is.
going to have a fireworks show, and it's not going to be the fireworks. It's going to be your plane crashing into the ground.
Yes. It's good.
Delta
There'll
style.
be fireworks.
Yeah,
All right.
there
but
will be.
Not in the good way. Well, OP says, I also kissed one girl the other night. I think this is a whole nother woman.
Bro, it feels like they're one-upping each other. I hate this.
I told my wife about it, and she surprisingly got mad. Who could have predicted? No one could have
This is
guessed.
a cluster.
Beautiful butterflies flying everywhere.
God.
Making little caterpillar babies.
Communicate. I can't stress this enough. If you haven't talked about what your relationship is and what flirting means, what talking to other people means, like what the bounds of your relationship is, you do not know. Like someone might think that smooching other people isn't cheating. Someone might think that watching OF is not cheating. You know, we've had stories where people have been align yourselves. Talk about it.
No, we got to keep. We're taking the planes. We're going in different directions.
I think when you become exclusive with someone, or it's like a real relationship, you're like, all right, we got to go. Like, what's okay, what's not okay.
I've said this before on the show, and I want to say it again, so that way comments can either fight against me or agree with me. I think that relationship counseling in the beginning, just purely to fully get a sync of each other, like how to best serve each other, is kind of a fire idea because you avoid all of the things like this. I mean, OP sounds like a lost cause, but you know, for us sane humans.
We should make like a Google Doc of like, these are the questions that you ask your partner to align on like what
life.
Yeah.
Everything.
To like what a relationship, like what kind of relationship you want to engage in.
Yes.
We should make that.
That would be fun. That would be good. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Stay tuned for that.
I think we could make that.
So I told my wife about it. She surprisingly got mad. She said it seemed like I was acting like I wanted to get back at her or wanted to equalize, one-upping each other, that I shouldn't do something like that to a friend of hers and it would ruin her circle of friends. At this point, I'm confused. So I start to think about it. She's pretty distant these days, and I'm about to go to work for some time abroad, and I'm not going to see her for a long time. And she's been talking so passionately about her work and her colleagues, her coworkers, especially the one she hooked up with. Also,
I feel like man's spidey senses are tingling.
Tinkling.
They're tingling very late.
Oh yeah.
Like he was just like hit by a ton of bricks, and it's like 2 days later, he's like, ow.
Did I just get hit?
Yeah, did I just get hit? What the heck?
I need an Advil.
I can't believe it.
Also, the male coworker was acting really strange towards me last time I happened to encounter her at work. She's also acting like she didn't want me to be around her in her work environment anymore. I get really confused because part of my job involves being in her workplace for like an hour or two at least once a week. So, bro,
she's like, ew.
Literally like has to work with her once or be in her workspace once a week, and now the guy she's hooking up with is getting rat. Dude, this is crashing out so hard.
Love triangle. I hate it.
He's crashing out so hard, but he has no idea it's happening.
I know.
It's Matrix. He's just watching it.
It's just so sad listening to this story, and it's like, move away from the bus. It's coming towards you.
He's just like,
and he's just standing there.
Ain't no bus. I'm good to go. Oh boy. So I was the one who talked them into employing her. I've known those guys longer than she has.
Oh, and they're boning your girl.
They're boning your girl. She's getting a bonus. Then I made the huge mistake and looked through her phone. The conversation with this guy is getting really intimate. Who could have ever foreseen that? They even jokingly send nudie pics. It's actually their feet. Wow, they're really close. And when I confront her, I am aware that I shouldn't have looked through her phone, but I need to say how hurt I am, how it was treason since she wasn't honest with me from the beginning, and how she was effortlessly trying to push me away from her life since we are just splitting the household bills at this point. We remember the perfect relationship we started with. Just
yeah, I know.
Flashback.
You ruined it. You ruined it.
We're not having spicy sleep anymore, not even kissing anymore. So I then proceed to tell her with many, many tears that I have been afraid of the end for like a really long time, and it would be devastatingly dreadful to me if it happened. But I'm ready to accept it since she has been seeing that same coworker. And to me, the way that it happened felt like cheating. And I even felt like I still loved her, but wasn't in love anymore. Everyone sucks here. Like,
OP just did not establish. He didn't establish any rules. It's like you didn't. You're like, oh, like let's do non-monogamy without saying what that meant to each of you. It's just so silly.
Yeah. And he went from like, oh, she's finally free, like, oh, I believe in it, to oh, she's finally free. Like, just be like, I just want to be with you. He doesn't know himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't know other people.
I think he's like, he has a case of like, again, intellectually, I see like non-monogamy having benefits in it. Like, I think it could work intellectually, but like for me, emotionally, it couldn't work right now. I'm not, yeah. I'm too entrenched in
right now.
Right, or at least right now, I don't know, maybe in a decade or something, through lots of conversations with a partner that I love, maybe I could get to that point, but definitely not right now. And I think the man just skipped all those steps and was like, let's try it out.
Ladies, mark your calendars 10 years from this day forth.
and DM Samuel Donner.
Oh, God.
10 years from now, it will begin. Oh, please, someone take this clip and send it to him 10 years later.
Please don't send it to my
time
wife.
capsule.
10 years.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be, not definitely, but
Oh yeah,
could,
dude.
anyway.
There's a lot of clips that are gonna backfire me
yeah.
in 10 years.
Can't wait. Well, enough Sam torture. Let's get back to it. So she cries a lot and asks me to forgive her. She recognizes that everything I said is true and that she wasn't even thinking during this whole time and she didn't want to lose what we have. I don't care. I don't believe you. I then look at her and ask if she loves me or our relationship, and she broke down into tears and says she loves both and wants to keep them. Now, we traveled for the holidays and everything started working again. Everything's getting back to normal. Nothing will go wrong. I rapidly fell in love with her one more time and things were great. And that's the end of the story. Thanks for tuning in.
No, things were not talked about enough.
Nope. No, it's not. It's not over. I feel like there's more.
Is there more juice to this story?
Actually, a lot more. We're barely halfway done.
Oh my God.
Except for now, I didn't want to spend all of these months away from her. It was a great work opportunity, but it's in another country. Remember his work trip that was coming up. Even the internet could not be enough. I asked her to stay, but she didn't want to. And even then, time after time, she encouraged me to stay and pursue this dream of mine. But deep down in my heart, all I wanted was for her to ask me to stay with her. So he's like, I don't want to go on this work trip. She's like, hey, go ahead. And he's like,
oh, I wonder why she wants you to go on this work trip. Huh? I wonder why.
So, he can explore the world.
I think you want to explore. You're going to be butterflying.
Ooh.
You're going to be butterflying.
Dang, a butterfly became bad in the story. Now I'm sad. So now we've been living separately for 2 weeks. Plot twist.
Bro, she's going to do something quick.
And tonight, she had spicy sleep with a male colleague for the first time.
She couldn't even wait 2 weeks.
2 weeks, man.
2 weeks. She couldn't wait a fortnight.
We're on a paycheck cycle, okay?
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks. Come on, baby. What is odd about it? Nothing was odd until this thing OP's about to bring
you're
up.
like, that was fine. I was really chill with that.
Is that when we FaceTime this morning, she was telling me how her night out was and how much fun she had, but she just told me that they went to a place to sleep. Just sleeping. That's it. No spice. She only confirmed that they had spicy sleep because I asked her if she wore protection. Otherwise, she would have told me that they only slept in the same room. So she was
Trickled truth.
I think it was like, oh yeah, we slept together. We were in the same bed. Like, da, 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 da. I feel like she was almost like kind of trying to
bulldozing
package it, And then he's like, well, did you wear? And now she's forced to either lie or tell the truth. But wait, there's more. When she left for work, she texted me saying that she'd go have a drink by herself, alone. I responded for her to please let me know when she arrives home, but she never texted me again. I even confronted her about it in the morning, and she apologetically said that her phone was in her purse and she didn't even take it out during the whole night. I guess she was busy with her hands other places. Also, she was really planning on drinking alone, but wouldn't you know it, her lover just showed up after she asked for some bar address. Who'd have that would happen?
Yeah. I mean, I would have not slept with him, but then he texted me and called me.
But then, she told me again, the spicy sleep, it wasn't planned. And that's why she didn't let me know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Hey, it was unplanned. So like, if it's not planned, is it really? Are you really hooking
cheating?
up?
Yeah,
it's
barely cheating. It's not premeditated. It's like cheating in like the second degree.
Yeah.
It's not. It's definitely not first degree cheating.
No,
like, she
not
didn't
at all.
meditate on it, and then she was just like, oh, oops, boop, a little stabby here,
Perfect.
a little stabby there.
How are you making love these days?
It was whoop whoop whoop.
Oh, God. By the way, you can listen to full episode if you want more of that. You can listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your favorite podcast app, and search OK Storytime. But ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at the end of the saga.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna dive in to the finale.
Please do. I feel so bad and not bad at all for this guy.
So the problem is that she's seen my text at some point during the night and chose not to say anything. I feel like she's feeling guilty about having a lover, even though I stated many times that I find that normal. We only owe each other the truth and full trust. She broke my trust from the beginning. Is that why I feel so bad about this whole situation?
Yes.
Is that why?
Yes, dude. She broke your trust. Stand up.
I don't get
Stand up, man. Sitting down on his laurels.
What's happening?
He needs to stand up for his morals.
Oh! Could it be that I'm just jealous and witching about this whole situation? Am I envious because she's having a really good time and I'm in a whole different country alone and miserable, not meeting people, and I still haven't gotten any payments from her?
Man is down bad.
Everyone sucks here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You need to stand up for yourself. This is not like, again, appreciate the intellectual exploration of non-monogamy, but you didn't talk about it enough. And also, she's not sticking to the one thing that you did talk about, is just like being clear about what's going to happen and not breaking your trust.
Yeah.
And she's doing that. She's doing that. So I'm sorry, OP, but I think you've handled a lot wrong here. I think you need to stand up for yourself. You need to create clear boundaries and expectations of what you want in a relationship, and that was not done. You're kind of doomed to fail. And I think it is definitely more on her part because she is lying to you and not being like forthright, but you also aren't establishing enough boundaries and you're not sticking true to them when she crosses them. And I think because of both those reasons, you're kind of being an a-hole to yourself.
Being an a-hole to yourself. Be kinder to yourself.
Yeah.
You can have just a relationship with one person and then be good. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
But let us know if you think it's okay. Put your answers in the comments below. And what should OP do? This last update wasn't submitted too long ago, so we can still help.
There's still hope.
But
My fiance left me for the one that got away. Now he wants me back.
So in a way, now you're the one who got away.
Do you know the way?
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. My fiance and I had been together 3 years. He was my first boyfriend. We laughed, cried, worried, and were happy together. Our families had mixed really well. Our moms became close friends really fast. He was my best friend, my confidant, my support, my comfort. I looked at him and could see our future together. God, I'm even crying remembering one time we took a blanket, went outside, and looked up at the stars like in some book. I never thought something like this could happen to me. The man I loved could have never done anything like that to me. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, it all started about 2 months ago. His ex, high school sweetheart, together 7 years, moved back to our country and wanted to catch up with Mark, fake name. He told me they broke up because they were unable to sustain a long-distance relationship when she left to pursue postgraduate studies. They hadn't been in contact for about 5 years. She sent him an email, he showed it to me, and it was completely platonic. She was just curious about what he had become. He asked me if he could meet her, and I said yes. I trusted him. So he went, but when he came back, he was a bit withdrawn.
Wow.
Oof.
Wow. I mean, hey, I agree though. You gotta let him go if there's trust there. It's like you dated 7,
Yeah.
Or no, they dated
you
for
should
7
never,
years.
You should never go into, forbid people to do things. That's...
Well, if a guy walks into a cafe with his ex and immediately comes back and is like, I'm uncertain of everything, that's not a guy you want to be in a relationship with.
Exactly. Like, he should be able to walk into the bar with ex and be like, wow, thank God I'm not dating her anymore.
Yeah. What up, previous partner?
Yeah.
Emphasizing previous.
He's usually really chatty, but he was dismissive when I asked him how it went, etc. I let it go. However, the following weeks, he was often on his phone. He'd pick random fights with me and didn't look me in the eyes when we had spicy sleep. Didn't whisper loving words either. I'm really touchy and clingy, and in our 3 years together, he had never once recoiled or refused my embrace. But he started doing it. I usually hug him like a koala when he comes back home from work. I'm a bit childish, I know. But he only let me do it twice. It was such a sudden change. I asked him what was wrong, but he just said he wasn't feeling too good nowadays. Nowadays? He wasn't feeling too good nowadays?
Ever since I met up with my ex, I just haven't felt very good.
I feel like if
us.
if someone told me I'm not feeling too good nowadays, I'd be like, do you need to go to the doctor? What do you mean nowadays?
Yeah, nowadays it's like it's been how long? How many days has it been?
Yeah, I know. Because if you said I'm not feeling too good, that means like there's an end to that. But nowadays, it's like that could go on for a while. On a Saturday, I went to visit his grandma as we usually knit together. She taught me. And I was gone the whole day. I feel really close to her because she adopted me easily and reminds me of my own who passed away when I was in high school. When I came back, I found him packing his stuff. My whole world fell apart. He was being so cowardly. He told me he was sorry for making me suffer like this, But sometimes life gets you a second chance and you have to recognize it for what it is.
A second chance?
Girl, has she even said that she's interested in him?
Like, she must have, right?
Right? You wouldn't just throw away
Right?
everything because you saw your ex once.
You wouldn't blow up your whole life for a thought, right?
That he loved me, but when he met his ex, he realized the feelings weren't the same. He said he regretted letting go of her, that he had found himself again, that it had been difficult, but he had to take this chance. His ex wanted him back. She realized what she'd lost and risked losing for good when he told her he was getting married. He supposedly refused her at first, but as time passed and they talked together, his old feelings came back. He hoped I would forgive him one day and understand. But also, I'm sorry, she asked him, presumably, told him that she still had feelings. And instead of cutting her off and being like, hey, I'm in a relationship, sorry, can't talk to you, he continued to talk to her until he developed feelings.
They were probably already there.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Or like just the notion of like this, like,
Yeah.
dang.
He was
if
a little bit
only-
interested if he kept talking to her. I cried as he was talking. It sounds stupid, but it was as if it was a stranger in front of me. He said he would still pay rent and part of the bills until our lease was up and I could find another place. He makes a lot more than me and I wouldn't be able to afford living in our apartment on my own. I begged him not to make this mistake, that he was being fooled by an idealized memory of their past together, that he was having cold feet, but he was like a wall. He didn't even look at me. At about 10 p.m., there was a truck outside with one of his friends waiting for him. He apparently came to help him move. I wasn't really close with that particular friend, but he did seem sorry for me. Mark hugged me goodbye and left. This man blew up his life.
Yeah, man. That's rough in the moment. That's super rough.
Yeah.
But you're better off.
Yeah.
Because what if he pulls this exact same stunt
When you're married.
about like something like about like kids? Like you guys have kids and all of a sudden he's like, oh, sorry, babe. I know it's cowardly, but I got to leave because life only gives you a second chance and I can't be a father or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
like if
It could have been a lot worse. Obviously, this still really
Yeah.
is like sucks and is awful, but
if he can blow it up like
Yeah.
this, he can blow it up in any other.
Yep.
He's able to blow it up flippantly.
I hadn't cried that hard in years. I slept in our spare room, not to feel the emptiness of our room when his things were gone. I sunk to the deepest pathetic.
The deepest pathetic.
The deepest pit of patheticness and tried to call him, but it went to voicemail. I had no idea where he went, but assumed he was now living with his ex after 3 weeks of talking again. How ridiculous.
Yeesh.
That's embarrassing for him. To be clear, you've done nothing wrong. You're in the clear, and he's embarrassing himself.
Yeah, I mean, look, sometimes feelings about exes get real confusing and muddy, but like, you were ready to marry this woman.
Yeah.
Right? Were they engaged already, or had they just been talking about it?
I think they were engaged.
Oh
Yeah,
my-
I think this is fiance.
You blew up an engagement for your high school sweetheart?
Yep.
I mean, and look, I shout out to all the high school sweethearts who are out there because they listen to
high
this show.
school sweetheart who you broke up with,
Right. Exactly.
and then were in a relationship with someone else for 3 years.
So can you even call them the high school sweetheart anymore? Because
Yeah.
it's like, it's over. It ended.
Yeah,
Now it's like your
you're an adult.
engagement blow up
Yeah.
heart. I don't know.
I'm really lucky to have supportive friends and family. My best friend even moved in for 5 days. My parents wanted me back home with them, but I wasn't ready to leave. Mark is a bit messy and I'm manic, so it felt weird having everything perfectly neat. I missed his messiness. It was as if he was the one making our house a home. He used to joke about me wanting the house to look like it was on sale or in a catalog. Not waking up to make breakfast, not seeing him read lying on the sofa while I studied felt weird. Not buying his favorite snack or protein powders when doing groceries felt weird. Just get jacked to the gym. Be your own protein powder.
Start buying your own protein.
I felt really lost at first. It was like grieving. Usually when people break up, the relationship was going south, but to me it came out of nowhere. I still loved him. I was still planning the wedding and working on my side to build our future together. It was all gone in a day. I wished I had been smarter and refused that he meet the one that got away. But again, I mean, you can't say no. That would have messed up another area, you know? That would have hurt your relationship as well.
I think that there can be like a conversation, and if you do come to the decision, it's like, well, no, I don't want you to reconnect with your ex that you broke up with only because the distance was getting in between you guys. We're about to get married. It's like, it just doesn't seem appropriate. If you can have that conversation and it's like productive, like,
Yeah.
sure. But if it's like you say that and then he's like, well, no, I really do want to meet this person. Now you're kind of at a crossroads.
Exactly.
You either have to be like okay
Yeah.
with it and have the trust, or like be like, well, that's my deal breaker.
His family was dumbfounded. I still went to see his grandma, and she told me he was a fool, that he would come crawling back to me. She was the first person who managed to make me laugh.
Nice.
His mom, my mom, and I started making calls to cancel all reservations. Luckily, the store accepted to take back the dress. We didn't pay much for the location as we canceled early. Next was to inform the guests. He had been gone for about 3 weeks then. His family was furious with him, so they didn't contact him much. The only contact I had with him was the signed check he made to cover the wedding cancellation. However, about a week ago, I received a letter from him. He apologized for leaving me like this, said he made the biggest mistake of his life, that he couldn't believe what he had done, that he was writing me this letter because he didn't have the courage to face me. You were right. I was running after a perfect relationship that had never existed. I regret it so much. I thought I was in love with her, but in reality, I was in love with what she represented. My younger self with no responsibility and only dreams. I had cold feet and got afraid of moving forward into this new segment of my life. I couldn't stop thinking about you when I was with her. She's not you. She doesn't know me or love me like you. She doesn't smell like you.
Oh, this dude just figured out other people exist.
I missed hearing you sing randomly throughout the day. I missed having someone nagging me to pick up my stuff. I missed planning Halloween parties for the kids with you. At the time I'm writing this letter, we would probably have been decoration shopping had I not been a fool. Everyone told me, but I was a blind fool. I would do anything to go back into the past and slap some sense into myself. I would do anything for you to forgive me. I know we had already started canceling everything, but I'm ready to pay for everything myself. You can date someone else to even scores if you want.
Ugh.
As long as you come back to me. This is embarrassing.
What was that line about the deepest pathetic?
Yep, that's
guy
him. This
wrote
man
that.
dug underneath the pit and found out that there's even more patheticness that you can fall into.
It's like, you know how, have you seen those memes of like someone writing something that's just like on fire because it's so good?
Mm-hmm.
But this is the opposite, where it's so pathetic as he's writing it, it's just making like whomp, like sound effects as he's writing it. That is crazy. You don't, it is so desperate and so, again, just selfish. Just me, I realized that I did this, I did that.
I would write the whole letter, but I'm on my iPad and it's tiring. I just gave the important parts. He kept on with apologies and begging me to forgive him. Now, I told my family, left friends out for the moment, and his mom and grandma. Grandma had a very satisfying told you so moment. However, she's rooting for me to forgive him. His mom was supposed to send a formal letter to guests to tell them the wedding was off, but is now waiting for my answer. I don't know what to do. I love him with all my heart, but what he did to me, I don't know if I can get over it. He made me feel worthless. He threw me away as if I was no one to him after 3 years. He gave up on us for some ghost from his past when we were at our happiest. If he can leave me when we're doing good, how will we sustain a marriage?
Boom.
Will he leave the moment things get hard?
Mm.
He hurt me so badly and expects me to forgive him. He wants us to meet on Sunday, but I'm not sure. I'm willing to. I need some perspective. What would you do in my situation? And there is an update, but what would you do?
I'd probably go on Sunday.
I would absolutely go.
And I would just sense sense it out, sort of feel out
Yeah.
what's going on with him. I don't think there's a universe where I'm getting back together with him
Nope.
anytime soon.
No,
Like,
and
if,
definitely not getting married to him.
like if there is, it's like it's gonna take a lot of work, and you're gonna have to rebuild that trust. But it's
Yeah.
so fundamentally broken
Oh yeah.
that I don't know if I'd be able to trust anything that he says. Where he's like, "Oh yeah, I would never do that again," and I'll never. It's like, yeah, but
I didn't think you could do it this time.
exactly. I didn't think you were capable of doing that ever in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's probably just it's gone over the cliff at this point.
Absolutely. No, I don't. I do think that you should go Sunday because I think that you deserve an explanation from him in person
Yeah.
where he defends what, or not
Mhm.
defends his actions, but explains his actions. And at the end of that, I don't think this relationship can work out.
Yeah, no. I think you should definitely go to Sunday and be like I think that they already feel this way
Yeah.
where it's like this is not happening again. But just see what kind of weaselly, wormy little things he has to try to say to wiggle his way out of this,
Yeah.
and then just be like, "Hey, not happening.
Not happening.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me."
And also just like know his mom and his grandma, while they may love you, while they may, think that you're great, ultimately they're probably more on his side because they're related. So
Some people just root for like a situation.
yeah. But I'm not even saying like they don't have like they don't like you or they're, I don't know, just like working against you. At the end of the day, they probably have his interest in mind over yours. So like the grandma saying, "Oh, I want you to get back together." She loves her grandson. So
Yeah.
just like, no, that's probably not your best interest. But there is an update. I didn't plan on updating, or at least not so soon, but I have another problem.
Oh boy.
So Mark wanted to meet on Sunday, but I unblocked him from my phone and told him I didn't want to meet. Oh, and to please not contact me anymore. He answered, "Please, baby, I need to talk to you. Can we meet another day? I know I effed up real bad and hurt you deeply, but I'll do anything to make it up to you. Anything you ask, I'll do it." Needless to say, it just angered me more. How dare he use terms of endearment with me? I just blocked him again after that. I met his mom on Saturday and told her to proceed with the notification of cancellation. We had an emotional moment, and she told me even though she would have really wanted us to stay one big family, she would have done the same in my place.
Mm-hmm.
She had hoped I would find the strength to forgive him, but she understands. And so the wedding is indeed still being canceled. My poor brother, I told him personally, had already bought his plane tickets from Australia, but got a refund. Well, maybe you guys could have hung out.
Well, yeah, you should have
Yeah.
just chilled out, I guess.
I rearranged all the furniture in the house and bought new bedding sets to make a new start and moved to the spare room for good. It looks really different and I like it. Apparently he told our friends because some brought it up to me asking if we were getting back together but said they didn't want to side. On Sunday evening, I had a visitor. I never have people coming this late. Usually it was around 9 p.m. When I went to look through the peephole, I saw Mark with his ex.
Ew. So he flip-flopped.
Well,
This guy, you gotta bring this guy to the beach because he's just a
my-
pair of flip-flops.
My maybe I see your conspiracy is that he's bringing the ex to be like, "Oh no, like I am in love with you. See, like we're not getting back together, you know."
No, I doubt it, dude. This
Like,
guy's
he's
a
like, "This is my
flip-flopper.
source."
Yeah.
I seriously had a moment of panic. He must still have the key for the main entry since he managed to get to my door without using the intercom. I don't know if it was a cowardly thing to do, but I just chose not to open it. I know they knew I was there, and I heard him ask me to please let him in, that he just wanted to talk through the door. Honestly, even though I feel better, I don't think I'm emotionally stable enough to deal with him, and especially him with his ex. They stayed about 15 minutes, and then they left. I thought he would get the message, but they came again yesterday around the same time. And I didn't open again. They waited even longer. I know I'm not being an adult, So now I don't know what to do. I feel nervous in my own house because I dread the moment they'll come back. He knows my schedule and he came at the time where I usually come back from my Zumba class. However, yesterday was a holiday, so we didn't have class. I'm afraid he will come again and I don't think I can face him. What should I do? I know I can't run away forever, but I need more time. And you will always have more time with us to listen to full episodes with stories just like this.
Yeah.
Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
You're gonna need more time because
Yeah.
there's
There's a
12,
lot.
almost
There is a lot to cover.
1,300 hours worth
Yeah.
of content to listen to. So
Indubitably.
in dubiously,
Well, I'm not dubious about it.
I think it's a dubious amount of.
Yeah. It's like, wow, there's no way they could possibly have all of that. But
What would
it's true.
indubiously mean? Is that the opposite of dubious? Indubious?
So maybe there is no doubt.
Or would that be undubious? Anyway, this conversation is dubious. Let's what?
There's a
Do
little
we
bit
have
more
any?
to the story.
I mean, like, I don't think you have to wait for anything. Like,
No.
you need to be like bullhorn, like megaphone.
Yeah.
You are not getting back with me. It's over. Be gone from me.
So, unfortunately, I don't think that you could call the police on him, but I do think that you could text him or call him up and say, hey, I don't want to talk to you and your girlfriend or your ex or whatever. Leave me alone.
Yeah, or just would you put a note on the door?
Yeah,
I
like,
really
I'm not
think you
here.
should call his grandma and have her be the one that tells him,
Yeah.
like, hey, leave her alone.
Sick his
You messed
grandma.
up. Yeah, because I think Granny will be able to, like, say, it's like, dude, you messed up.
Yeah.
And we all told you were being an idiot.
Yeah.
And then you did it. And now you have to live with your idiot decisions.
Literally. But there's a little bit left. Is this worth calling the police over? I fear it would make the problem bigger than it is and hurt our family relations. Our moms are really close, and really, he's not dangerous, I think. He hasn't contacted me enough for it to be considered intimidation anyway. Should I just be a big girl and hope in the next time he or they come, or do I wait it out? Also, why the heck is he bringing her? I'm curious, but I want to stand by my decision. And that is the end of the story for now.
I mean, yeah, this is if you have like a 2-door setup where it's like you have the inner door and the outer door.
Yeah.
Just open the door and be like, I am done. Go away. You can have him or not.
Yeah.
I don't care. Leave me alone. You come back again, I'm going to start figuring out how to get you charged for harassment.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, the family dynamics getting messed up because of this guy
Mm.
desperately coming around trying to convince you to take him back.
Yeah.
That's not you. It's him.
Nope. He's causing his own trouble.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, no, I think that you can, I think to a certain extent, you might have to face him a little bit just to tell him to stop coming and bothering you.
Yeah.
But yeah, seems like you're pretty set on not taking him back, which is good.
Yeah, and you should. It should be just a quick thing. Open the door a crack. Go away. No, not talking to you today or tomorrow or next week. Leave me alone.
Exactly. But that is the end of that story. So we're going to jump into the next one.
Indeed.
My husband just suggested trying out a poly relationship with me, but he already has a girlfriend.
Hey, you did that in the wrong order.
You
my
skipped
guy.
a couple steps, my man. Okay, so my husband, 43 male, and I, 43 female, have been married for 23 years. We have never dated or even kissed anyone else. Our story is long with ups and downs. I will try and make this short, but feel free to ask and accuse as there's a lot of backstory. By the way, this comes from Puzzleheaded Can 9332, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, as we have gotten older, we have become more open-minded. For me in particular, just learning and breaking free of what society and religion have boxed as acceptable relationships. Pushing back against those statistics that say people get more conservative as they age. Look at you go. My husband has always felt like something was missing in his heart and mind our whole marriage. There have been about 5 times in our relationship where he has met someone that helps a little bit of this hole. But as we were both clearly monogamous, I was very upset to the point of not being able to function, and we would take a break. Yeah, that's fair. So wait, he's just like falling in love with other people 5 times?
Yeah, that's
He's like, no, there's a hole in the marriage. I gotta emotionally cheat. And she's like, yeah, I got so upset about it. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's not rational. We've already talked about it, and we've realized I'm in the wrong. I
I'm
need
the
to
problem,
accept
of course.
that he's falling in love. He's just a lover.
He's just a lover boy.
Sounds like rocket science.
And in the end, we would always come back together. Nothing physical was ever done, but the emotional cheating was heartbreaking for me. I now have more of an open mind, however.
Good for you. Way to be open-minded.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
sorry. She's actually saying what we're saying. She's like, no. Like, I was so closed off before. I am now open-minded. I can see that he was right.
I can now see the proper way to love.
Caitlin Von Compen says what I was thinking. He was definitely filling holes. He said after doing some research and soul searching that he feels like he needs more than one woman to be in a relationship with.
Yeah, I was doing some research. I was really hitting the books.
But not in general. Specifically, a woman from 5 years ago who he had one of the connections with. She had cut it off because she wanted a physical relationship with him, but he couldn't cross that line. He crossed every other line. And because she was so upset, her husband found out and they cut ties.
Yeah, why did it not work? Well, she wanted to be more physical and he didn't. And also her husband found out.
This is crazy. But now he wants to date her and stay married to me. He said eventually he wants us both to be in equal types of relationships with him. And okay, I can think about this and see if it's something I would be comfortable with. The problem is things started back up with them seriously about 4 months ago. About a month ago, they started making out and kissing, and he just told me about this today. Girly, he's cheated on you.
That's so funny that he's like, maybe if I just disclose that I was cheating.
Yeah, then it's totally fine.
I could pull a Jedi mind trick here.
Yeah.
And
OP
go,
is renaming cheating. She's like, no. It's just like a really strong bond.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes past our marriage vows.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand it, but that's not for me. My small, feeble mind to understand.
I guarantee you he was like, no, babe, that's what's supposed to be like. It's just, that's how you greet each other right off the bat.
You don't understand. Marriage exists in stages. For the first 5 years, we're loyal to each other. And then after that, you have to let more love into your heart.
Exactly. Babe, we've talked about this. I'm a lover.
I'm a lover, okay? He wasn't even going to mention the kissing. I had to ask him specifically. He said that he plans on having a full relationship with her, spicy sleep and all.
Right? Didn't he just disclose that when he's like, I would like this woman and you to have equal partnership in my marriage?
He's
What?
like, all right, I plan to take over the entire tri-state area. Are you okay with that?
And that's when you say, no, I'm not okay with that. I'm leaving you, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. I'm not cool with this.
Yeah, and that's why Dr. Doofenshmirtz is divorced. His want is to be with me like we have been and have her as a girlfriend too. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yes, you are. Yes, you know how you feel about that. Polly is already something I had been pondering for myself, so I'm wondering if maybe I had someone else as well. We could keep what we have and both be happier for it. So I am thinking on it, but it's really hard for me not to feel hurt over him already dating someone and then making out, cuddling, and kissing. All doing that without talking to me first. I'm so furious and also sad.
She's like saying everything except
Cheating.
I'm upset I got cheated on.
Like she's not labeling it. You got cheated on. You're allowed to be upset about that. To make matters worse, a year ago, I felt really ill and have been on disability ever since. So I am having a really hard time trying to figure out what I want while trying to disregard if we aren't together anymore. How would I live and survive? He told me that he 100% will not stop seeing her and moving forward, but that he does want things to stay the same with us. And I can decide if that's what I want and to let him know. Wild. Am I putting too much importance on the kiss and overreacting on what he's done already? I also asked him, would this be where we are all together, like knowing each other and around each other? But he said he doesn't see that working. That he wants his relationship with her totally separate and us not having anything to do with each other. Knowing each of us, he doesn't think it would work well. I need advice, please. He's like, I think you'd just be so jealous with, my other girlfriend that I cheated on you with being around.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work out.
Yeah. I think I would keep my other girlfriend completely quarantined from you, my wife.
I think, what I was kind of thinking is we would move her into the house and you would kind of move out.
Just purely for vibes.
Yeah.
It's nothing personal.
Nope.
All right. It's just, it's all just based on vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're not okay with that, I think you should still move out.
Babe, you're sounding like a bit of a hater right now, okay? I'm a lover.
I'm a lover.
All right, let's spread some love.
I don't really have anyone to talk to, and I know Polly needs a lot of honesty and openness, but I can't help but feel like he's already broken that. I don't know. I don't know. Any advice or thoughts are greatly appreciated. Thanks.
Please tell me we have comments.
Oh, so many.
Comments.
I don't think Polly works.
If
like
I were to
Yeah.
hazard a guess, I don't think Polly works like this.
Yeah. Usually you have to go like, hey, maybe we should do or try this thing.
Hey, maybe.
And then you do that thing that you talked about, not the other way around.
Not the other way around. Not the other way around, because if you do it the other way around, that's just cheating.
Yeah, let's take it out of the context of relationships. Let's say you go buy a new car.
Yeah.
Right? And then you go talk to your wife. You go, I think we should buy a new car. Your wife's like, yeah, sure. I've been thinking the same thing. We should get this one. He goes, great. I already got another one. It's out in the driveway.
Yeah, it is not the one that you wanted.
That's just not how that works.
It's actually it's a Hummer. I know you wanted a Prius, but it's a Hummer.
I also love how chat's like, this is an open relationship.
Yeah, you're already in an open relationship. I don't know what the discussion,
it was open for them. I guess you just didn't get the memo.
Yeah, like the door was open.
Did you not get the email?
Cat left.
Wrong email? Sorry.
You got broken into. You got to lock that door. But there are some relevant comments. Minnie Sparrow, I'm so sorry. This is heartbreaking, and as others have mentioned, it's cheating. It is painful. It is scary. It is infuriating. All your feelings, they are completely valid. It might be additionally disorienting because you haven't been with anyone else, I imagine, plus the disability. What does this whole thing also say about the woman who was with him? She either doesn't know the full context of your story with your husband, or she doesn't care. I mean, given the fact that she also cheated on her husband, I imagine that she does not care. Either way, staying with him would keep you in a vulnerable and unfair position, and the lying would not stop there. You don't need to face this alone. Please reach for additional support and do not for a moment feel that you are the bad guy here. Your husband messed up big time. And OP responded, yeah, I've never been with another person, haven't even kissed or held hands with anyone else. I do feel alone. This last year with my health and losing all the plans I've had for my life, I've been dealing with depression on and off, and when I'm depressed, I curl up inside myself and draw away from my loved ones. So I'm feeling like I have no one to turn to for support, hence coming to the internet. LOL, I'm hopeful I can be brave enough to reach out to a loved one soon. Catmouse3 says, unfortunately, Polly is based on communication and being on the same page. And him doing all that behind your back and only telling you because you said something first shows he would have went further and not told you. He cheated on you, honey. I'm sorry, but it's only Polly if you know about it. OP said, I told him this, that it's based on trust and communication, and he broke my trust, and I don't know if I can get over it or not, because I am curious if Polly is something that I would like or not. I'm trying to be understanding of his needs and what would make him happy. He said he was for sure gonna tell me in a few months.
Yeah, no.
He's just waiting for the right time.
I had it marked on my calendar, babe. I swear. Come look.
It was gonna do it on our anniversary.
Yeah, on the 32nd of March.
Or maybe April Fool's. I thought you would like it. It would be kind of a fun joke, but not a joke.
Thematically appropriate day.
Yeah. But he came home wearing a bracelet that our son saw and asked him where it was from. Oh, y'all have a son. And my spouse wouldn't answer, so I got suspicious. And the fact that he has still been with me in every way and was going to not say anything to me for so long is very hurtful. He was going to keep seeing her and making out with her without telling me. He only told me now because of the bracelet thing. And there is an update, but girl, you can get money out of this. You can get child support, you know? You've got options. Get a lawyer. I'm sure you can also possibly get, I'm not quite sure what the process would be here, but you might be able to get some sort of disability pay. But look into your options, talk to a lawyer, because staying in this situation is not good for you.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'm sure you're probably just actively processing what is essentially the end of this relationship, and you've probably got a little denial.
Absolutely.
Clearly, but yeah, you gotta get out. This guy's not a lover. He's a liar.
He's a liar. But there is an update, and that's not a lie. So I have learned a lot about how he feels about and with this other woman, and I have done some soul searching. This is what I ended up doing. He claimed he wanted us both, separate but equal partners. Not the separate but equal! No!
Classic.
No! I'm sorry, are you the freaking US government?
Yeah, and as we all know, that worked really well.
Yeah, it worked great.
As we all know, that was a phenomenal.
Separate but equal was a phenomenal.
Yes,
oh my goodness.
That didn't have any problems. No, you can't do that.
And I sat with that for a bit. Then, after some talks, I realized I only had one important question. If you had to choose now, who would it be? Girl, he already said if you didn't want to do this, he was still going to stay with her. He already told you. He was like, yeah, if you're not okay, leave.
He's just a lover, babe. I don't know.
I gave him an example. If she came to him and said it was too hard on her to continue the open relationship and that she couldn't do it anymore, what would you do? Who would you stay with? And he wouldn't say the words, but he had the look on his face that said he would pick her. He's already said the words. You already typed them out to us. I told him that isn't a balanced relationship. That isn't poly. That she holds all the power. That he will do whatever it is she wants because he has to be with her, so he will do anything she wants, including leaving me. So then I told him it wasn't fair to me, that his proposal would put me at the very bottom of importance below both of them. I told him that's not fair to me, that I don't deserve to be someone's second, someone's back burner. And so I told him I couldn't stay with him. I packed a suitcase and stayed the night with my sister down the road.
This is written like it's like, well, this is my boyfriend that I met 6 months ago. And it's like, no, this is your husband you have a child with. This is a huge deal.
It absolutely is written so, not casually per se, but not like, oh my God, he cheated on me and broke my heart.
Yeah, it's more just like we just want different things right now. And it's just not going to work. I don't know if it's what I want.
He's being incredibly forgiving. And you don't have to be. We met a couple times after that to go over logistics. I set a reasonable timeline for him to get stuff out of the house. At least you're kicking him out of your house. That's something.
Thank God.
I set the boundaries that I didn't want to see him and I didn't want any communication unless it was logistics like bills or rides for the kids. I haven't seen him since. It's been a roller coaster time for me. We were together for 25 years. I found one person that he actually told the woman's name to. My ex never told me or anyone he thought might tell me. So his brother told me. I found her on Instagram and Facebook 2 days ago. Man, that was really hard to see who my spouse was dating. Seeing her adult daughter do a post that talks about how good of a person she is. And I wanted so badly to say that her mom is the type of person who dates married men. I'm not going to, but I really, really want to message the girlfriend, thinking I might spend some time crafting over the next week and send it.
No.
Honestly, don't do that.
No.
She knows.
No.
She's already aware that she's ruined your marriage. She already is aware that you guys were together for 25 years. She knows all of that. She knows you had a kid. She doesn't care.
Move on. Move along.
Yeah. It is, unfortunately, like, it shouldn't be, but like, for you to do that, it would be embarrassing.
It's just like beneath you.
Yeah.
And your husband already threw away 25 years of marriage.
Your husband is already the one in the complete wrong and just a complete embarrassment. So try and rise above that. I have quite the journey ahead of me. To all those who saw through his BS and called it what it was, cheating, and who encouraged me to leave him and who were upset on my behalf, thank you. It was really eye-opening to have such a unanimous response to my post and helped me give the courage I needed. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I just hope someday I can find someone who treats me as an equal, a partner who would choose me over others. And there are some relevant comments. Zeba says, that is such heartbreak. He sounds selfish, immature, and selfish. Did I already say that? I am sorry. He gave no thought to you at all. Should be a huge red flag for her, but Godspeed, lady. I mean, again, it's not a red flag for her because she did the same thing.
Yeah, she doesn't care.
She doesn't care. She cheated on her husband to get into this relationship. She absolutely doesn't care. And also, I mean, we don't even know because the first time it was unclear of whether she divorced, if anything actually happened with her and her husband. It just seemed like he was upset.
Husband didn't like that.
Yeah, husband didn't like, but it wasn't like, oh, their marriage ended over this. So she probably either is continuing to cheat on her husband or divorced him, like left him for this affair.
Yeah.
You take care of you now, and when he comes crawling back to you in 6 months to a year, and he will, he absolutely will. Remember, he showed you who he is. OP says, oh, I'll remember, LOL. His brother actually told me if I ever consider getting back with his own brother, he would kidnap me and lock me up until I remember all the crap my ex put me through and tell him I won't do it. LOL, also you mentioned he gave no thought to me at all. The heartbreaking thing is my ex has been very clear he did think about me. He said he felt like he was between a rock and a hard place, that his girlfriend kept wanting more and more, and if he didn't give it to her, she would leave. So he weighed what it would do to me. He weighed that he would be breaking his strict moral code and weighed how he would feel if she left and he chose her. His strict moral code?
Strict moral code.
What is his strict moral code?
To be a bad guy.
It certainly is the strict moral code that most people who have strict moral codes follow.
Okay, look, babe, this is my strict moral code, all right? When I'm in love, all right, love conquers all.
He's like,
including our own marriage, okay? My love for her, sorry, you're going to have to battle it out now. It's battle bots for love.
He's like, I just follow my own 10 commandments. First one, golden rule, covet my neighbor's wife.
Yeah, it's like my 10 commandments. Marissa, Clara, Sarah.
It's the surf's up. These are my ladies. That is OP's ex-husband.
This one?
Josephine says, strict immoral code, indeed. Yes. And he chose her, which to me is a heck of a lot worse than not thinking of me at all. Mentally ill millennial. So he cheated, then he tried to have his cake and eat it too, is what I'm understanding. OP says, yup, he wanted to keep us both. He said he wanted everything to stay the same with him and I, and then bring her up to be an equal with me. But he is so desperate to keep her, he will do anything she wants. And I told him that since that's the case, there is no equality. She holds all the power, and that's not fair to me. Man tried to Henry VIII his wives. He was like, well, I can just have my new wife be equal with my old wife, and then if she's unhappy, I'll just execute her.
And then get a new wife.
Yes. OP, when told when she is ready to get back out there and date, she says, it's going to be really weird doing anything with anyone new. I've never done anything romantic with anyone but my husband, not even hand-holding, cuddling, or a kiss with anyone else. I'll be honest, it makes me nervous to get out there again. How can I get over feeling like a kiss with someone else is a bad thing? I mean, it's going to take you time. It's a 25 marriage. You don't have to rush into it, but the people will be there when you're ready. But that is the end of that story, and it seems like OP is on some sort of path.
Yeah.
Hopefully the right one.
I mean, the path away from that guy.
Yes. And that is a good
marriage
path to be
is
on.
a good path to be on. And there's also a path that you can be on.
Oh yeah, wasn't even in
which
this.
is a path that allows you to listen to full episodes with stories, just like the one we just read. Just go to Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts and search OK Storytime, and there you will find us.
It's true.
Simple as that.
But we're going to jump into the next story.
My boyfriend is way too close to another model. She's his phone wallpaper.
Ooh, that is maybe his girlfriend.
Yeah, well, are you at least maybe the lock screen?
Yeah, are you also a model?
I think so. Let's find out. So, my boyfie is a fashion photographer, meaning he works alongside many beautiful women in his profession. Stylists, hair and makeup artists, and of course, models. This is actually how we met. By the way, this comes from user xgirl on the phone, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I modeled my way through college, and he photographed me after, like one of his French girls, after which we became friends and eventually started dating. We have been together now for almost 3 years. I've since stopped modeling, but he is still a photographer. Never once in our relationship has he given me any reason to question his fidelity. With the exception of me, he has never dated or even befriended any of the models he has photographed. That is, until Rachel came into the picture.
Who's Rachel?
A model.
Of course.
I've met Rachel. She seems like a fun chick. The type of girl who draws a lot of positive attention just by entering a room. She's beautiful, but her personality really shines through. She makes you feel like you're her best friend when you're talking to her. A very cool person through and through.
Nice.
That being said, I'm not the only one who feels this way. My boyfriend also adores Rachel. The first time he photographed her, he stayed late at the studio and discussed ideas for their next shoot for nearly 3 hours.
Ooh. Nothing explicitly wrong yet.
It's a pretty productive
Long.
professional relationship, I would hope.
Yeah.
3
They're
hours
just doing
of
their
discussion.
job.
Hope it stayed pretty on topic.
Hmm.
He was actually late for a night out with me because of it.
Oh.
But
okay.
he's always had terrible time management, so I didn't think anything of it. The lateness has now become a steady recurring factor when they have shoots together. They hang out long after the stylists and makeup artists leave the studio. They also text a lot, and he's always smiling to himself and laughing when he reads the messages she sends him.
Rut-row.
Rut-row is right, Raggy.
Rut-row.
Oof. At first, he would show them to me and try to include me in on all the fun without me asking, but he abruptly stopped doing that around 2 weeks ago. He tilts his phone away from me now when Rachel messages him.
Not great.
So,
not great.
I see two reasons that could possibly happen, right? One is clearly because it's like he's into Rachel and they're texting flirtatiously.
Flirtatiously.
The other reason might be because he saw how negative you would react to the messages he was showing you, and now he's like, well, I just want to make it, I won't bring that up around. The more likely one, definitely option one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't tilt the phone and hide your phone unless you got something to hide.
Yep.
Something to be ashamed about, right?
Because also there's like a difference between like for your second option, there's a difference between showing all of the texts and not showing them, and then also like tilting the phone away, like he could have just been like, oh, she doesn't like when I show her all these texts, so I'm just not going to show it.
Yeah.
But now he's like actively hiding them. So
Yeah,
that's
it's like, oh,
suspicious.
oh yeah, but
and she's like, what are you reading?
Don't worry about it. Don't.
She's like, I'm not texting anyone. I could see in your sunglasses that you're texting Rachel.
It looks like that, but it's Clash of Clans, babe. Back to the story. I'm not the jealous type, but if my boyfriend had a history of doing this with other models, I'd let it slide. The fact that he is only like this with Rachel and I guess me makes me wary of what might have transpired between them.
Oh, I was just going to say, you should also take into consideration how he treated you in the lead up to your relationship. Are there any like similarities? Because you guys said that, he started photographing you, you became friends, and then you started dating. So are you seeing a similar timeline in how your boyfriend and Rachel interact?
Yeah. What is the OP and Rachel boyfriend interaction Venn diagram looking like right now?
Yep.
How much crossover do we have? Rachel herself has stopped talking to me. We used to communicate and have an easy casual friendship via Instagram and Snapchat, but she pretty much ignores me now. Is it guilty conscience? I don't know. The real cherry on top is my boyfriend now has a photo of Rachel as the wallpaper on his phone. He's apparently proud of the concept and the editing and claims it has nothing to do with Rachel herself, which is totally believable but doesn't sit right with me.
No! What?
It is believable in a way. I know photographers who have pictures of people, pictures they've taken. In this context,
on their homes.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like people who take like headshot photos and they're like, this is like the best. Like this is the best one I've taken. Or they just
on
like
their lock
people.
screen?
But no, it's well, like Riley has this for Angie. It's like he has like a
his
bunch
girlfriend.
of. I no. I'm just listen. It's a bunch of different pictures of Angie.
I see.
So it's like I've seen photographers who like have a bunch of different pictures where they're like, these are my best.
Yeah.
My best work.
Sure.
However, given the context of the story, it is very unbelievable.
Yeah.
That it just happens to be Rachel.
Yeah, nope.
The girl you're low-key obsessed with.
Nope.
Not even low-key. High-key obsessed with.
He's pulling a me in college. It's like, everyone's just a little bit in love with Rachel.
I told him that the Rachel photo wasn't sitting right with me, and he told me I was being irrational. Rachel is single, by the way. She and her boyfriend broke up around 3 weeks ago.
Which is when he started texting her and not showing you the texts.
So you be the judge of that. Yeah, I think we all can judge exactly what's going on here.
The timeline ain't adding up.
The logical jump is very, very small.
It's a very small, it's less of a jump and more of a hop.
I really don't want to fall into the jealous girlfriend trope, but what else am I to think? I don't want to make crazy demands and accuse my boyfriend of cheating on me, even emotionally, but he really does seem to be fond of this girl in a way that really hurts me. He has other female friends, and he doesn't act that way with them.
Because she's not in love with them.
Exactly. We all know I think we all know what's going on
we
here.
all know what's happening here.
He's capable of being friendly with a girl without flirting or acting suspicious, but with Rachel, it's different. He has slowly become very attached to her, and I feel like I'm losing him. I have expressed this to him a couple of times, but he always tells me I have nothing to worry about and that he and Rachel are just kindred when it comes to photography. The long nights and constant texting and phone wallpaper mean nothing. Oh, by the way, she's practically unclothed in the photo, and it wasn't taken for any sort of publication, just for fun. Am I being irrational? Unreasonable? How would you feel in this situation, and what would you do? And there's a mini update. Oh, he and I are meeting for lunch in an hour. Extra mini update. He confessed.
Oh, there's the thing that none of us were surprised by.
Yes. I'm actually kind of
Oh.
surprised he confessed. It was
Yeah,
reading to me
that's-
like a guy who just was desperate to get her to break up with him. Like, we've read stories like that. I just don't.
No, it's surprising
Get
that he had the wherewithal to tell her, I guess.
Hey, it all came. He couldn't keep the facade up any longer. Let's just get into the update. We all know exactly what's happening. Let's get into it. I'd like to address a few things. My boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, has never taken a noodle or even partially noodle photo of me. Although I modeled in high school and university, my primary focus has always been stage acting. He took my headshots. That's how we met. Not that it really changes anything, but it's just a bit of insight. When we were younger and when that relationship was new, I would accompany him to his shoots all the time. But my own career is very time-consuming nowadays. I know of multiple model photographer relationships where they accompany each other to every shoot. And I don't have anything against doing that, but I personally would rather just trust that my partner is on their best behavior. Obviously, what happened here kind of squashes that, but I do stand by it. If I have to be there in order to make sure my partner's faithful, chances are they'll find other ways to cheat.
Big time agree. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just going to get sneakier.
Exactly. There's no, I mean, it's not healthy or helpful to try and, make your relationship into like a backpack kid,
Right.
Like that kid's gonna escape if he wants to.
A backpack kid?
Yeah. You know?
In what way?
Like if you keep a leash on your partner. they're not-
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was just thinking of the guys who used to run through the hallways with like their arms out and like
Oh, no.
like they
sorry,
would
different type of backpack. I'm
Yeah,
talking
no,
about like a leash kid.
like a
sorry.
leash kid. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the incorrect term.
I was like
Leash child.
Anyway, I'm flattered by the offers, but no, I will not be meeting anyone for drinks anywhere. Sorry for the bluntness. Just yeah. Now, here comes the good stuff, or I guess the bad stuff. I met him for lunch Friday afternoon. We went to our favorite sushi joint overlooking the ocean.
Sushi.
And I ordered more than I could handle,
Good.
stuffing my face while trying to decide how to broach the topic of Rachel, but most importantly, our relationship. I went into a meeting with a righteous, butt-kicking speech prepared, but I forgot every word of it almost immediately after we sat down. I guess he could tell there was something on my mind because he asked me if I was all right.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
I thought, wait, is this maybe before the confession? Do we think?
Yeah.
I think this is potentially pre-confession.
Yeah, this is pre-confess. Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready now.
So he asked me if I was all right, if he had done anything to upset me. Snort, yes, Ian. You've upset me very much, actually.
Ian, no.
No, Ian. As soon as I gathered the confidence to look him in the eyes, I point blank asked him, what's going on between you and Rachel? His mouth flew open as if he were completely and utterly taken aback by the implication. Rachel?
He's like, me and Rachel? And Opie's like, yeah. He's like, me in love with Rachel?
Me?
Me? Staring into Rachel's beautiful eyes? Me wanting to have 3 kids with Rachel? Opie's like, I didn't say that. Me wanting to marry Rachel?
I think you've said all you need to say, Ian.
Yeah.
God, I would love if So his mouth flew open as if he were completely and utterly taken aback by the implication, but I cut him off with, do not BS me, you goof. I tried my best not to let anger get the best of me. I really did. I wanted to stay cool, calm, and collected like so many women on this sub. You know the ones. Those intense stories of cheating husbands where the wife takes to our relationships, garners a ton of support, and then updates us later with a well-constructed storybook post detailing the evidence she has collected against him and the meeting that she had with her uncle or sibling who just so happens to be a divorce lawyer. Yeah, I'm not a legend like that. I wish I were, but I'm honestly just an overly emotional doormat, and I knew going into this meeting that I was either going to cry or gouge his eyes out with my mind. Because I had somewhere to be later, I took a hard left and got super, super angry. He could see it in me, the anger bubbling over. The people in the restaurant were starting to stare at us too. In order to save face, I threw money on the table with a tip and told him to meet me in the parking lot. If I had me blade on me, I can't say for certain I wouldn't have channeled my inner jet and beat his shark butt to the pavement.
Okay, a little West Side Story.
Kidding, hey, kidding, totally kidding. No one's getting, yeah. No one's getting. We met inside my car. He climbed in after me, his head down as though he were ashamed or I don't know. Guilty! I asked him how, and he explained everything to me. No preamble whatsoever. The moment he met Rachel, he felt some type of way towards her. No way.
And this whole time he's been lying to you.
The girl you don't have to worry about.
He's like, no, you don't understand. It's totally platonic.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's why her boyfriend broke up with her.
Because of the thing that she's got going on with Ian. Well, birds of a feather flock together. He couldn't tell whether it was just a silly crush or something more, but he knew she felt it too. Oh my God, so cute. Barf.
Hope he's like, how cute.
They kissed the first night they met.
Oh, he cheated on you. Wow, okay. And then lied to you about it.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
The whole time. Okay.
The night he nearly stood me up. That same night. They had crazy, emotional, forbidden, spicy sleep. The night she and her boyfriend called it quits, and they've been effing ever since.
Wow.
He mentioned that he always used a wiener wrapper with her, but I don't care. I'm getting tested.
Yeah.
Oh, and because so many people asked in the original post, I figure I should mention Rachel was the one who was broken up with in her previous relationship. I don't know why or how. I didn't ask, and I don't care to know. Funnily enough, Ian said he doesn't want to be with Rachel. He wants to be with me.
Oh, that's funny, because you should have realized that, before you cheated on OP.
That's crazy, because you've been with Rachel this whole time.
It's funny, because you were with OP,
You're like, you don't understand. I had to be with her.
To realize that I wanted to be with you.
Yeah.
And I also couldn't tell either, I couldn't tell you about that. Because then I couldn't be with you both at the same time.
Right. It's a delicate game. Well, you know what? It's basically the Game of Thrones I've been playing, which is a real cool thing. You should watch it, and then you'll understand. Watch Game of Thrones. He said he doesn't want to be with Rachel. He wants to be with me, and he even provided text messages to show that he's the one who decided not to pursue anything with her on official grounds. Except you already did.
You already slept with her.
Buffoon.
You already did this. With her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's like
oh,
robbing
I
the
decided
bank.
to not pursue anything on official
Yeah.
grounds.
I know what
no,
happened.
it's like robbing
Yeah,
the
you
bank
rob the
instead
bank.
of asking for a loan.
Yeah, no, you rob the bank, you go back to the bank, and you go,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rob you guys again.
Yeah.
Promise.
Not
I know
gonna
what
rob you
happened.
guys. And also,
Can I get a loan?
thanks.
I've got a lot of assets now that I can leverage against
Yeah,
it.
can I put my money
They're
in
like,
the
those
bank?
are the assets you stole from us.
Like,
and you
no.
go, well, I'm not doing that anymore, guys.
You're
Why are we talking
welcome.
in circles? But I told him I give 0 Fs about what he wants. And unless he can go without his eyes, he should get the F out of my car and erase me from his mind before I erase him. I literally said that.
Girl, yes.
Girly, yes,
Girly.
please, queen.
Okay.
In any case, I went home later that day, posted an update for you guys on the original, and had a couple drinky poos. My friends and family and most of Ian's friends and family have rallied around me in support. I guess he told his mother we broke up and how it happened because she called me this morning and said she's disgusted with her son and that if I need anything at all, she's always there for me. For real, you guys, I'm going to miss his family. They are good people, the best people. This is my first real adult breakup, by the way. The type of breakup where you're required not only to break up with your partner, but with their family and friends as well. These people you've spent so much time getting to know and growing to love are suddenly not in your life anymore, and it's kind of daunting, really. Daunting and sad and infuriating all at the same time. So that's the conclusion to this story. That's what happened. Thank you again to everyone. And by the way, you'll be thanking yourself if you go listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you've got almost 1,300 hours worth of stories to
So
listen
many
to,
hours.
which is a lot of hours. Don't know if you're aware of that. It's plenty.
Plenty hours.
So we've got a little bit more story left.
Yeah.
You're going to be better in the long run, OP.
So
It's hard.
true.
You know, it is hard leaving a relationship where everything's become so intertwined. It's not easy.
No, never.
That'd be a
But
lie.
I mean, this man cheated on you and lied to you and only fessed up when you had to confront him about it after multiple times of being like, hey, I don't like this is not making me comfortable. I don't like how close you guys are.
Yeah.
So he is not the one for you at all. And also, I'm pissed at Rachel because OP said that Rachel and her were kind of friends at the beginning of the story.
Yeah, they were like, oh, we get along.
Yeah.
Another model friend of mine.
Yeah, but from the beginning, Rachel's been, hooking up with her boyfriend.
Kissed her man immediately, night one. Dang.
But there's a little bit more.
Note. To the person who said violence is never the answer and I should have never threatened my ex, you're right. You're absolutely right. But if you're ever in a situation where your lying, cheating ex refuses to leave your car, the first dozen times you ask, I dare you not to lose your crap and say things you don't mean just so he gets the F out and doesn't see you cry. Microscopic update. So far, his mother, his teenaged stepbrother, and 2 male friends of his have reached out to me saying how disgusted, ashamed, and embarrassed they are on his behalf, on top of 3 mutual friends. It hasn't even been 2 days yet, guys. And that is the end of that story. Yeah, I think given the context of the situation, a lot of those friends and family will be more apt to take your side than his.
Absolutely. He cheated on you.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be too worried about like losing your connections because really he's going to probably lose them more than you.
Absolutely. And it seems like one good thing he's done is tell the truth to his friends and family.
At least, yeah. At least he fessed up there.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine doing such a bold-faced lie. We're just right out of the gate.
Truly.
It's like she's your phone wallpaper and you're like, yeah, no, it's just, I like that shot.
Just
It's
to
like,
be so
you're
blatantly
insane.
obvious that you're in love with this girl and cheating with her and then just continue to lie. Like, not even, like, he didn't try to hide it at
I
all.
won't even give him in love, dude. He's just
just infatuated, yeah.
Wouldn't even give him that.
But that is the end of that episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you and
see you tomorrow.